Hello there, everyone, and we are here with the last chance qualifier for VCT APAC Game Changers. I'm Zach, and with me here is Matt, and we're going to be bringing to you the first match in this upper bracket quarterfinal, which is going to be between BASISSIX and Madness Zen. So, Matt, how are you feeling
I'm
today?
feeling absolutely amazing to be here with you tonight, Zach. And this is LCQ. This is the last chance for our teams to get into the Game Changers APAC Series Elite happening later this year. And as mentioned, this is going to be the first matchup, BASISSIX versus Madness Zen Esports. But let's take a quick rundown again of our calendar of Game Changers. There we go. We're already done with the first two stages. Open overtime just concluded in July 3rd. And we're starting with the last chance qualifiers today, or rather last week, up to the 21st. And we already got 8 teams qualified, right, for the Game Changers APAC Elite.
Mm-hmm.
And the teams that
Six.
we're fighting for, the teams that are fighting today are going to be competing for the last 2 spots. And the competition can't get any tighter. Up here on the screen, you already see the 8 teams, or the 6 teams that have qualified in the past 2 stages. You got Alter Ego Celeste, Bren Victress, SMG, Orangutan, Zol Meraki, and Enigma Galaxy. And of course, last chance qualifiers. This is where it all begins, right? All best of threes
Mm-hmm.
from here on out. And these girls, they're looking primed and ready for tonight.
Yeah, especially considering the teams that are here, it's interesting because this LCQ, since it's open to everybody, it's a mix of both old friends and
Yes.
new content, new challengers. So definitely, it's going to be exciting to see which are going to be the last two standing as they move on to Elite, and big stakes on the line because the winner of Elite is going to be the team that goes to the International Game Changers event that's going to be happening in Berlin later this
Yes.
year. So the stakes are impossibly high right now for the 6 teams that have already qualified, as well as the remaining 8 that have a possibility of making it to Elite. And I'm especially excited because before the last month or so, I would have said that it is going to be Alter Ego who makes it without doubt, but there have been a few changes, but more about that later because let's
Yeah.
take a look at the 8 teams that are here so far. So familiar faces, W Streak, they almost made it in the overtime series. They missed it off in the last game. It was a best of 5 and there were multiple overtimes and they almost made it, but this is going to be their last chance and they're going to be looking to lock in their seat. Another team, X10 Sapphire, I think will be casting their game later today.
Mm-hmm.
That's also a team that they made it to last year's Elite. They have been doing great so far in the open qualifiers. It's just that during overtime, they weren't really able to pull it together. And well, as a result of that, they're going to be fighting in this last chance qualifier as well. Big Side, another team that's been around. But let's talk about new teams. BASISSIX, I think that they're a new team here. It's sure they have experienced players who have been around for a while, but they're a team that came together for this last chance qualifier
Yeah.
to try and make it through. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned the fact that these are a mix between new teams and old teams. But if you take a closer look at the compositions or the names behind these teams, and one of those teams being BASISSIX, as I mentioned, it's a team that's filled basically with Game Changers veterans. You got Angela Sendry, KitKat WC, formerly from Arresta, making forming a team specifically for this LCQ, right? So that's what scares me here. The prospect of them creating an entire roster just for this tournament. It's an absolutely terrifying an absolutely terrifying team to face against. And well, I am very scared if I'm going to be playing up against them. Of course, Madness Zen Esports, as mentioned, they've been around for a while, been playing since Open 3. And let's take a look at the prize pool. Other than being qualified, or other than the first 2 teams being qualified for elites, we got the prize. Of course, the first and second places get $1,200 each. Third and fourth and fifth to eighth will get $200 less each succeeding. But all of our teams basically are winners already, right? All of them are going to be receiving a prize pool each. And basically what they're fighting for is their bigger prize, or really just the cake, which is getting into elite.
Yeah, I don't think the teams here really would be happy if they place third. They're just fighting for that qualification spot, and it's going to come down to the wire. I think, especially considering today's matchup. I was doing some analysis of the teams, both BASISSIX and Madness Zen. So looking at Madness Zen, they're a team that are very good on some maps, but they're not very comfortable on others. Like for
Mm.
example, their kryptonite. There are two things that are kryptonite for Madness Zen. The first is going to be Icebox, and the second is going to be the team of Aresta, because so far in both Open 3 and Open 4, it has been Aresta who have taken them down. And guess who's on BASISSIX? None other than one of their star players, KitKat. So that's a bad omen right off the
Yeah.
bat for Madness Zen here.
Yeah, kind of poetic justice, if I might say that. I don't know if that's the proper innuendo, but yeah, I like to point that out. Icebox being one of the maps that actually Madness Zen have the most experience in, but not really have found a lot of success with it. We are going to be showing up the map video in just a few seconds, and I believe Icebox is going to be in it. So I'm really excited to see what Madness Zen is going to turn up in that map, particularly because
Mhm.
of that reason, right? If you are a team that doesn't find a lot of success in that map, generally you want to avoid it. But Madness Zen, they put priority on banning a different map. I believe it was Fracture that put priority banning on instead of Icebox. So I wonder
Mm.
if we're going to be seeing something new from them today.
I mean, I can tell you exactly why, because Fracture is one of BASISSIX's strongest
Mm.
maps. They have a 100% win rate on it so far. I mean, they're a new team, but still, they have like a 100% win rate, and that's a map that you really don't want to go up against. Let's take a look at the players here from the side of BASISSIX before we talk more about these maps here. So, of course, like you mentioned, Angela and Sinderi, familiar faces. KitKat as well, incredible on that jet. She was like a really a highlight player to watch out for when she was playing for Aresta. We have Pipi Felche as well and Miguel. So a mix of old and new faces and a team that's extremely strong, because I believe that they were undefeated in the group stage. They managed to just win all of their matches, and they clinched their spot in the playoffs in a very, very clean manner.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a team to watch out for. And despite you not knowing the name before of the team, I'd be willing to say they're gonna give us quite a show today, Matt.
Yeah, and they've been performing so well here in LCQ, only dropping one game in the knockout stage against Kyodai X. So really, this team, the momentum is at an all-time high. Going up against Madness, well, Madness, they are a team that has been wanting to qualify for Elite for quite some time now. As we mentioned, they've been playing since Open 3, Open 4, unfortunately unable to make it out of the group stage. Now, though, they're hoping to make a comeback, and they're looking pretty good doing so. Taking a look at the players once more. Now, Madness is a team that are a mix between Malaysians, Filipinos, and Singaporeans. So having that, I guess, mix between players from different countries, it's kind of hard to find that rhythm, right? Because for one, you got on top of language restrictions, you got ping differentials, and you've got to know like intuitively how your co teammates or teammates are going to play. But teams like Madness Zen, they fit together like a glove. They've been performing really well, especially now in LCQ.
Yeah, LCQ, it was very, very close. Like they've been playing well, but during the group stage in particular, they barely made it. Like it was a three-way
Three-way tie.
tiebreaker that they broke with a 5-round differential. That's all it took, 5 rounds. If they had won 5 rounds less, it would be another team here. So, I don't know. Maybe it was because their bracket had a bit more difficult teams that they had to go through, or they were just having a couple of rough days. So, a bit rough for them heading into this. So far, at least statistically, it seems like BASISSIX are shaping up to be a better team. But head to head, you never know how it's gonna go, and it comes down to the map vetoes. That's incredibly important. So let's take a look at what exactly these teams have chosen to take us into today. Because, like I said, the first ban, it's gonna be Fracture. Madness won nothing to do with that particular map, because, like I said, it's a map where BASISSIX have found incredible success so far. They win not only convincingly, they also have a 100% win rate, so they really don't want to go into it. BASISSIX, on the other hand, they are going to be banning Split. Perhaps it's a map that they're not really comfortable with. I don't think they really played it either
Yeah.
in this tournament so far, so that's interesting. But the first map that we are going to be seeing today, that is Bind, and this is a map where Madness Zen are actually quite comfortable, which is probably why they've picked it. It is one of their comfort picks, just so as to speak, and they have a pretty convincing win rate. I think they have like an 80% win rate so far, and they love running like either a double initiator. These days they mostly run a double initiator combo. They only run a single duelist, but sometimes they also do go in for that double duelist. So I'm intrigued to see what exactly they're going to be picking heading into this particular map here.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see though this matchup particular in Bind, because this is Madness's map pick, right? And this is a map where it seems like they've found their composition already. Even before the chamber nerfs, they sort of shy away from a chamber and more towards a Sage into a double initiator. And now with the chamber changes incoming, teams are still just adjusting to that, whether still deciding whether they should stick to the chamber or perhaps go a little bit more towards that utility side. But of course, on top of the fade into the raise combo, it's been a standard for them not getting that chamber and going for a little bit of a safer route on the
Mm.
Sage, which means that they're going to be all the more comfortable going into this sort of new meta right now. In Icebox, it's a completely different matter because Madness, this, as you mentioned, is one of their not really best maps, right? It's one of the maps that they sort of not look comfortable with in the past, and that prospect excites me, right? Because I want to see what else they're going to bring us here in Icebox. It's a little bit experimental for them. The chamber argument, it's just not true here. They still play the chamber, but they haven't shown us what it's. Oh, they actually used to have played chamber even with the nerf, so I would be expecting that to come
Mm.
out still. But
Um,
it's a 50-50 between going for a raise and a jet here. Raise, of course, not the go-to, but it's slowly rising in the meta now, right?
yeah, but I mean, like I said, looking at the way both of these teams play Icebox so far, they run the same comp. They just go
Mm,
for the standard, which is like a Jet, a Sage, a Viper, a Sova, and of course the Chambers. So, they're incredibly comfortable on it. The only difference is that BASISSIX have found a lot more success with this comp. Like even during
yes.
this LCQ, they've won all of their matches in an extremely dominating fashion: 13-2, 13-4, 13-6, and Madness. Well, they just don't have the same kind of style on Icebox. So they really need to win this first map. They need to take Bind because it seems unlikely that we're going to be seeing a 2-0 because Icebox is one of BASISSIX's strong maps. And I really like that they picked it. They've done their research
Mm,
into what exactly makes Madness and tick here. But then we come to map number 3, which is going to be none other than Ascent. And if it goes to map number 3, this matchup could go either way,
yeah,
honestly,
that's
because
true.
Ascent is a map that they're really that both teams are pretty comfortable on. BASISSIX as well as Madnazen, they both have decent history in them. I think that Madnazen just has a bit more experience playing the particular map, and they have a pretty decent win rate as well. So
Mm.
if it goes to map number 3, it's gonna be really close. But if BASISSIX can somehow steal Bind away from Madnazen, we're looking at a possible 2-0 here, and you know. I'm excited to see that, especially considering that BASISSIX is one of the teams that run Yoru on Bind. So I want to see if we're going to be seeing a Yoru today.
Yeah. I'm almost sure that we're going into map 3 here, Zach, because we've already laid out the foundations, right? Map 1 is, well, let's face it, Madness loves that map. Map 2, well, BASISSIX loves that map, right? In a sense, they both found decent success with it. So, just looking at the statistics, I feel like we're going to that point. But of course, I've been proven wrong before. Statistics have been proven wrong before. I mean, you and me, Zach, we're proving time and time again that when it comes down to it, stats, they're just numbers. It's all going to boil down into execution and how these teams are going to be able to adapt on the fly. I mean, of course, this is not necessarily the highest stakes of matches because we have still the lower bracket to look forward to. But of course,
Mhm.
whoever gets ahead earlier on has a massive advantage or already has a bigger probability of getting into Game Changers Elite. I can't wait to see what both teams are going to be starting off with composition wise in Bind 2. You mentioned the Yoru being present. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I hope it happens, but let's see. We'll have to wait and see. I guess I'm not sure. I'm not sure how Yoru fits right now.
You just go in and you put on your blue little mask and you're like, I'll handle this, and you go all around and create havoc while the rest of your team
Mhm.
jumps in. Like we've seen Forsaken do it enough at this point.
That's true. That is
Everybody knows
true.
how to do it. The question is, can they pull it off? And if they do pick up that Euro, I'm gonna be interested to see that. Another thing that BASISSIX does like to run on the map of Bind is Astra, so
Oh
that's a
yeah.
controller that you don't see that much around anymore. But we can keep speculating here, but I think that Agent Select is ready. So let's go ahead and see what exactly these two teams have in store for us on Bind today. Ooh.
Yeah. Pretty excited to see what both KitKat and Michui are going to be using as duelists. I mean, both of those are tried and true Jet mains, but with the current state of things, with Fade being so dominant in the meta, Raze is an absolute necessity, particularly in maps where you can have those lineups. And of course, you can't talk about Bind without talking about Raze. So both of them
Mhm.
seemingly will be defaulting towards that. Actually, it is Angela going for the Raze route. Seems like Kit Kat will be taking on the mantle of the Sky this time, so more of the initiator and utility dump role for Kit Kat. Michui, of course, will be staying for that duelist role. And this is what I've been talking about. Mad they have this very defined composition here in Bind, and this is the exact same composition that I was talking about. Brimstone into the Sage, they really have their own particular playstyle, and it's a nice change of pace. Neither of our teams are gonna be going for the Omen.
Yeah, it's just gonna be Astra and Brimstone all the way. And I like this because Brimstone is one of those controllers that's really, really strong on buying the ultimate. If you know the lineups, you can you can buy so much time. I've seen Brimstones clutch out like 1v3s and 1v4s just off the back of the utility kits. So yeah, that's a good pick coming in from Madness. Then Senderi as well. Her usual Astra, nothing new to see here. I am a little bit disappointed that we're not gonna be seeing a Yoru, but I guess the value that you get from having those initiators on board as well as the healing from the sky is just too much to really compromise on.
Mm.
Both of these teams going for a comp that is kind of in meta, but more than that, it's just something that they're really comfortable with. So they're not messing around here. They really, really want to win this, and I appreciate that coming in. So heading into this particular map, so what do you think about what the players are playing and everything else stuff?
I mean, of course, the main difference between the two compositions is that PP felt Cha are gonna be on that chamber, so sort of acting like a semi sort of duelist, sort of a little bit more aggressive. One of the things that I feel like is very overpowered, I'm sorry for using that term, but it's just so true about a chamber, is that he can take any fight he wants, and can basically get away scot free whether he gets a kill or not. So really, I feel like chamber is unmatched. So I wonder what Madness is going to do to sort of counteract that, because I feel like, or rather personally, I like having a chamber more than I do having a Sage, just because of that fact that you can be that aggressor on either side, and you can find impact as long as you find a frag, or at least put a trademark in a good spot. Such as right now, look, there's only a singular anchor in B site, and it's enough. PP Felcha. Well, of course, the TP has been first early on, but Madness not really taking any sort of unnecessary risks, which I like.
Mm.
50 seconds left. They have a lot of time, but pretty soon they have
Oh
to make a
no.
choice, and it seems like they want to hit A site where there's a 4 stack here, Zach.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. They tried to use the haunt to try and draw some attention towards that B side, but the bait hasn't been taken here, and it seems like this A push. There are 4 players that they have to deal with. Possibly, they're not going to be able to take U-Haul at all. Already, the pain shield's coming through to try and deter the plan from going, and while it deals a little bit of damage, T is going to be brought down to half HP. It is still going to be the trades coming through pretty evenly. In fact, Machuli finding so much value off the
Wow.
frenzy. This attack succeeding incredibly well as it's just Kit Kat trying to hold on. Michui with the 3k is going to be able to win this pistol. I think they don't get the spike plant, so that's going to be a little bit less money that they have in the bank. But overall, that round could have gone so badly for Madness. Break it down for us, Matt.
Yeah, amazing start here for Madness. Frenzy in the hands of Michui, enough to mow down 3 members. Remember, Zach, it started off with a 4 stack from BSX there
Exactly.
in a site. And a quick rotate too from Felcha made it so that it was almost a 5v5 when the site tick was happening. And blink of an eye, just one frenzy clip, Michui just mowed them all down here in that amazing start. Of course, that means that Shorty will be up in the hands of Angela and just the pistols, the rest of the BSX squad, who again have opted for the 4-to-1 split here. Alone
Mhm.
in Felcha, or in B side Felcha is, and they're not going to be finding her.
Yeah, that was a very, very quick take. Felcha forced to play retake here, and they're aware that there might be a player in Hookah, which is why the smoke has come through. The full 5-on-5 retake right now, but the firepower at least lies in the hands of Madness right now because they do have those upgraded Spectres. They're being surrounded on all sides, though, because most of these players are going to be aside. Angela pushing on towards long, already spotting out players here. I don't know if they're aware of the possibility of this flame coming through. Angela, though, she's going to be caught off guard, and both T and Zoju mowing down the players towards long. Kit Kat finds 1, but that's going to be all she finds because Madness are going to be able to take this anti-eco and convert it. And they hold on to 4 Spectres as well, which bodes well for them on this particular bonus round. Looking at the ultimates as well, Kit Kat already close to those Seekers, but apart from that, nobody else is really on line here, really close. So
Yeah,
that was a quick execute. This time, I think we might be seeing a bit more slow play coming in from them.
of course. I like that play from BSX though. They put up three members coming in from both Belong and Hookah just to try and take those closer fights, right? But unfortunately, Madness they read them like a book. They positioned themselves so deep into sight that by the time the three flanking members made it happen, already fallen down. But you were saying something about taking things a little bit slower. Well, BSX they didn't get the memo here.
Yeah, they really haven't. Already trying to I'm in Madness actually, but yeah, BSX they're willing to be aggressive here on this defensive side. They're willing to, try and see if they can pick off people with the superior weaponry they have in mind. T already with that frenzy doing a bit of damage. That stage able to bring them back up to full HP, but that's gonna give a cue that there are at least two or three players down towards the short area here. It seems like the three players on A side, they're gonna have to try and hold on to it, and they should be able to because they have quite a bit of utility. The jump peak, Miguel spotting out at least two there. So this, with 50 seconds left on the clock, it seems like Madness they have to make a call here whether they want to go through or not. And the call seems to be we're gonna push in. We have our stage, we have the haunt, and off the back of that, we're ready to go in here. The satchel into you all as well. The siege is too good though, and KitKat is gonna be able to convert that kill off of that distraction here. The Seekers coming through, spotting out players, and it's going to be a 3v5 retake. At least they do get that spike plant in this bonus, but it seems like this might possibly be an almost flawless round.
Oh, scratch that. Kit
Never
Kat
mind.
fell down from Sage's hands. Angel trying to push up against Miguel here, but so much utility still available for the hand side of Madness.
Oh no.
There you go. They pushed down, and they weren't ready for Angel's position. Now, it's looking pretty scary here for BSX. Remember, this is the round where they got the full buy. It's already falling apart for them. Zach, last man standing. And Sandri, does she have it in her to close it up? It seems like she's running out of time and bullets. And Angel, third round there for Madness. Wow, they convert that round 3.
That was insane coming in from them because it was a 4v5. They like BASISSIX get the initial pick. They let the spike go down. All they have to do is retake it. But man, that push through showers was what really clinched them around. KitKat caught in the reload, caught off guard, making things really, really rough. And with that mad, they're gonna put BASISSIX back into an eco here just to judge for Senderi. But apart from that, this is a round that they should convert. They also do have that orbital strike on T here, Matt. So,
so many
they
kills.
have a lot going for them.
So many kills on T. Already gotten that ulti. But now again, it's the B side executes. It seems like for Madness, of course, they do have the weaponry advantage, but gotta be careful. All it takes is one headhunter bullet at the right place at the right time, and they might get shut down here. But Michui still going in for the side push.
Chewy and her satchel movement is pretty clean, and this is
That's
like
true.
every time they go to the B side, they do the same thing. She satchels in, they throw the haunt. If anybody gets caught, she's probably gonna wallbang him through it. So yet again, a 5v5 retake right now. And I think the hookah control, it's still not in the hands of Matt, and they're aware of it, which is why they're gonna be playing very, very cautious there. The two players on site though, they're very capable of being pinched, and T already finding two somehow with that Vandal. Will be able to get that heal as well. And finally, Felch able to stop the bleeding as she takes down Angel. 2 kills found. 3 right now. It's going to be a 2v2. Make that a 1v2. Can they close it out? It's going to be Machui who manages to clutch it out and get a 4th round for Matt. But that went way closer than it should have there.
Yeah, I really love what Felcha and Sandri did there whilst that push was happening. They tried to peek outside of Hookah when the round started, but nobody went that route. Instead, the Milchui executed down and belong. So what they do, they just played safe and waited for the teammates to rotate. And because of that hold, they got no clue. Madness did not have any clue that there were 3 people in Hookah, which is why they were caught off guard by it, making that round so close. The damage being done there. 4-0 still on the board. BSX really have to convert this round. It's a real pivotal one for them.
Yeah, the advantage already in the hands of Matt, and if they let it go any further, it's gonna be overwhelming right now for BASISSIX. They are very, very close to some holds. KitKat almost has those seekers. The Chorta Force will be available for the next round as well. But looking at the ultimates for the side of Madness, well, this is gonna be incredible. Even if the firepower is equally matched for both these teams, ultimate-wise, Madness are just so far ahead right now. In fact, if they can get one Altor for their Sky, that's gonna be the Seekers online as well. They have almost 4 out of almost three of these ults online here, so that's gonna make things even more rough right now. So far, they're just playing it incredibly patiently. They are trying to get some B control. They already have long so far, and after taking that orb, are they just gonna take the TP? I don't know if that's what they're planning to do. It seems like it, and off the back of that, it might be a quick push towards this A side here. Already, Showers has been taken over
Yeah,
by Michui here, so if they do make their way back, it does seem like an
right
A hit
here.
coming in with 30 seconds left. They have to make a move, and it
Orbital
seems like at
strike.
least they're yeah, they're aware of the possibility of the orbital strike, which is why nobody is really playing inside uh, the UL area here. That's not gonna find anything, but nevertheless, the site has been left open, and it seems like the spike will go down.
Yeah. That now coming in, and all of the utility being thrown, everything in the kitchen sink by Madness as they take control of site. Now BSX, key thing here, Zach, they don't lose a single member, which means a 5v5 retake here.
Yeah, that's it's looking incredibly rough right now for them. They don't really have ultimates either to work with, so they have no information as to where exactly these players are. Already T finding one. The trade does come through, but they still have so much to do here. Angel holding strong towards this area, and U-Haul, her position is known though. The clock is ticking as well. So the defuse has to start soon. Oh no. Yep. 1v1, and yep, they managed to get the defuse. Finally, a round going in favor of BASISSIX. I had to take a pause there because I was incredibly confused. But
I
Angela
know.
with a 3k and the defuse. Well, yeah, that's gonna be the round that they really, really needed. And it's surprising because they invested so much. They invested the Nightfall, they invested
Yeah.
the Orbital Strike. All of that went in, and they couldn't convert it. That's
And
so rough.
and it's still so close. Like BSX, they won that round by a hair. They lost 4 other members, but still a win is a win here. Zach, I'm not sure if that's actually gonna permit them off the full buy, but BSX, they recognized the situation. They knew Madness had a lot of these ults running, and as you mentioned, I love that you pointed out, no one was in U-Haul because they were anticipating the orbital strike commitment there. And the reason why Madness could not translate that round was because they invested everything into that push. Now, again, BSX start off a little bit hard with 2 of those members going down.
Paying for that aggression really, and that's gonna be really unfortunate for them, especially considering that they had weapons. So you see that Felcha is only playing with the Tour de Force, trying to hold down A all by herself here. Showers control has been taken. It does seem like it's gonna be an A execute. So Felcha is gonna
Yeah.
have to go huge heading into this particular round, seeing the disadvantage that already the players
Oh
are
no.
facing here. The utility is gonna give away some information though, and yep, that's going to be satcheling. That's gonna be Michui satcheling in already, pushing through the smoke, but oh no, the judge is too powerful here. It's just going to be the chamber left right now in this 1v5. Only a tour de
Yeah.
force to Felch's name here. She couldn't even find an entry heading into this particular thing, and the smokes, they go away at the wrong time. She's not going to be caught in an open position on the flank. It seems like it's
They
on
don't
as
want to
well.
peek.
So if yeah, they don't want to peek, but they also know where she is. They're expecting it, so they're just gonna keep her locked in. Like, look, we're not gonna peek, but if you try to move out, you're gonna be paying for it. She does manage to take down T, so that's at least one pick that she's able to get, but she doesn't have any information about the position of any of these players. And well, yep, that's gonna be the judge shutting her down. A 5th round for Madness, and I think the reason why they're doing so well and they have such an incredible lead is that they're really able to close out on these engagements, which they take right off the bat. They
Exactly.
get those picks right on the onset, and after that, their post-plant discipline is almost impeccable. So
Yeah.
that's a deadly combo. You don't
Yeah.
want to let them play post-plant.
Yeah, and I feel like BASISSIX isn't necessarily doing anything wrong. They're just being outgunned here by Madness Zen, which I really, really like this showcase here. I love this look from Madness Zen. They're winning it by the fundamentals. I mean, I believe that just one round where they invested everything was a sort of fluke to this otherwise almost flawless game for Madness Zen, because when it comes down to it, once the utility has been used, it seems like Madness always seems like have an upper hand here when it comes to the raw team fight. VSX, I'm not sure about this timeout timing though, because well, they're going back into the eco here, and I'm not sure just how much they can do. I mean, sure, they've got 4 ults to their name. Tour de Force being used in the last round means they don't have that this time, but I'm not sure what the plan is here for BSX. What are they planning to do in this eco round? I mean, they could scrounge up a buy for perhaps 1 or 2 of their roster, but seems like they're not going to be going for that anyway.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a full-on eco right now. We have like one sheriff for Miguel. They have so many ults though, so they should consider getting some kind of hero rifle on board and try to convert based off the back of those ultimates. But nevertheless, it is going to be an eco and a round, another round that Madness can comfortably take turn. Already, T is performing so phenomenally. Already, only two away from the orbital strike. For context, she used it 2 rounds ago, so this is pretty insane coming in from the ult farming from the side of the Madness players is just insane. They're getting a lot of the ult orbs, they're planning out their plants, and yeah, they're also getting all the frags. So it's just going really well for them. They're able to have at least one ultimate
Oh,
online in almost every round. Looking at the positioning from these players, so it's going to be full on 5 stack towards B
yeah.
here. And Madness, well, it seems like they're aware of that because after these players push through A, it is going to be the knowledge that A side is free for taking, and that's just going to be rotation coming through. They know it that the flash is going to give away some information, and it seems like yet again, BASISSIX, they're going to be gambling wrong. They're going to be on the back foot here, and yet again, it's another run that's probably going to go for Madness.
Yeah. The key difference being that this time they have sort of an experience like similar to this before. Remember, in I believe round number one was a 4-stack in A, one player in B sort of scenario. This time, it's a full-on commit into B site. But the difference is that they're not going for any lurks. Everyone coming in from the CT side means that Michui might find something big with this Vandal. Seekers is going to reveal her position, but she's still going to get Kit Kat off the back of that Seeker. Does get to connect onto one, but again, the gun's not really in the favor of BSX. Makes me wonder why they committed that ulti in the first place.
Um, she'll be already finding a 3K, but you know she's gonna be backing off here. It's gonna come down to just a chamber. Felcher will be taken down as well, and that's gonna be a flawless round for Madness. It was against an eco, but a flawless is a flawless, and that's gonna put their economy as well as ultimates in a phenomenal spot there. They have two ready. They have two that are very close to being ready. So it looks like Madness, they just cannot do any wrong. We talked about Bind before. We talked about how it is possibly their favorite map to play,
Yeah,
and I think this is exactly
exactly
why.
why. Yeah, I'm loving the they're just showcasing how well they could pull off this composition too. Um, go for the brimstone, the fade, the raise, and this is not something that you see typically these days, especially with fade supremacy. Essentially, the go-to right now is of course the omen, just for that security on the TPs. But this time, Madness taking things down a notch, and BSX with a little bit more of a standard approach. I like this because they haven't really opted for this much. The standard hold down in both sides. A little bit more priority towards A side this time, which is absolutely fine. But it seems like Madness really does get the read off properly every single time. Because again, look, they are pushing up against B Long, which again, there's a little bit less security here for BSX.
Yeah, definitely. They managed to get so much space for free on this map, whether it's long or shower. They just managed to walk up, and it's incredible that Basic are really letting them have it. They tried once to go aggressive, but they've been failing so far. And yep, the execute is on already. Both
Wow.
showstoppers pop, but Michui, she's gonna be able to take down Angela. That's a showstopper diff right there. And yet again, the site has gone into the hands of Madness, and yet again, Basics are gonna have to try and retake this. So far, they have not been finding much success
Nightfall.
here. Nightfall is also being invested right now, and that makes things a bit rough, but the crossfires here are impeccable. The flash dodge as well. The smoke comes out at the right time, and this utility is buying so much time right
Yeah.
now for these Madness players. That Astral Divide might be too late.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing start there, but BSX are still pressing on 2v2 now as they picked up 3 of those members. The Cosmic Divide not really making it possible for them to hear this, so they might just stick this. But Angel taking matters into her own hands. Angela, sorry. There you go. Madness again. 7th round into this game. Now, what really made it hard there for BSX to get into sight was that preemptive molly from T there. The moment Nightfall was pulled out, T already had that molly positioned in CT, so that when the decay was done from the Nightfall, well, BSX not able to get into sight, essentially nullifying the entirety of that ult because of a single molly. Just goes to show you how well Madness knows this comp and how comfortable they are playing it.
Yeah, it's incredible. They have their executes like almost set in stone. But even when things go wrong, they're able to adapt on the fly, and that is a reason why they've been so successful
Yeah.
on this attack here. The aggression coming in, but with this lower buy, it's not going to be finding much success as Mitsui is already able to take down the first player from the side of BASISSIX. That's the Astra down, so no more controller, no more smokes. That's going to make the retake once the spike goes down, if it goes down, a bit more harder. They will be able to get that alt orb as well towards long. So the Nightfall is yet again active. That's incredible. I swore they only use they oh sorry, that was the opponent team. But nevertheless, the Nightfall is available right now for Madness, and
Yeah.
they have both the Nightfall and the Seekers, both incredibly informative ults. And guess who almost has the ults again? T is just one away from that orbital strike. This is going to be the third time they're using it in 8 rounds if they get it. So that's incredible. Felcha, watching this angle, will be spotted off though and forced off of it with that beautiful seize. Yet again, the B side is open for taking it. This time though, Madness, they're going to be pushing up super aggressively here. They know they have the superior firepower and they want to try and capitalize off it as much as possible. Already the spray finding one. Miguel managing to get the trade, but that's going to be all that they really find here. Just 2 players left right now, Angela and Kit Kat. Nothing but Sheriff and a Frenzy in hand. No ultimates either, not much utility. The flashes are available, but they're going to be stuck in this angle here. They have to force their way through this elbow before they can really get their way onto side. And now both of their positions are known. Angel's going to be able to swing off the back of that. She didn't even wait for the flash. She just goes and she's like, yep, I have a Vandal. That's how I top heads. And that's going to be round number 8 for Madness, who look unstoppable right now. Like even the one round that BASISSIX won, that was barely a win. It could have gone either way. It came down to a 1v1, and right now it just seems if they cannot get the next 3 rounds onto their side, or at least 2 more rounds, it's gonna be really difficult for them, Matt.
Yeah, and I absolutely loved how Madness played that post plant. They still challenged Elbow despite already getting the plant down and despite already having the gun advantage. I mean, typically you see teams do that when they have some sort of a man deficit or a firepower disadvantage just to try and even things out. But even though they already got that advantage, they still went in for the full-on challenge. This time though, Sentry gets discovered outside of Showers as she provides that distraction for Felcha to TP in. And this time, BSX starts off strong and beautifully, but can they actually maintain this lead? Because B-side already getting swarmed by members of MAD.
Oh, they just left it open. That was a full-on stack towards A. All 5 players now rotating through the spawn. And the spike plant, well, that's going to go down for free here. They might have gotten the advantage, but player-wise, but they have to make this retake work here. 2 major ults available for Madness. They have both the Nightfall and the Orbital Strike. However, T is going to be playing on site here. An interesting choice considering the utility that she has to be able to solve. She's still in position of both the Molly as well as the ultimate. So it might be the wrong call for her to be playing on site, but they're not going to be clearing elbows. This might be incredibly important here. T has to find this pick. She has to be able to pop that ult, but she's going to go down before that happens. It's going to come down to a 2v1 here. And Angel this time not going to be able to find those kills. It is going to be BASISSIX getting the second round on the board, and that's going to be off the back of that beautiful play tour Showers, like you mentioned, Matt.
Yeah.
That aggression finally paying off here. Madness being punished, not being allowed to take space, and you know, it still came down to closer than it should have, but nevertheless, that's a great round for BASISSIX, and that's exactly what they need. They need to play a bit more confidently, find a bit more of those initial picks, and well, yeah, they can make those retakes happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's the one thing that's been lacking in this BSX defense so far is that they love... It seems like they default to playing a little bit more reservedly, and I really don't think that is the best option right now. BSX, I feel like if they just challenge these angles, become just a little bit more proactive in these angles, you're gonna find a lot of success with it. Felch, though, gonna get discovered by that dog, but hanging about with the tour de force, so might still find something with it. But key thing is, I am not sure if they know that tour de force is here in A side, so that's one thing that Madness has to be careful of. But again, look, Zach, they're rotating away.
I don't know who the IGL is for Madness here, but they deserve a medal so far. They've been doing a great job, but this time around, they might have bitten off a little bit more than they can chew, because it's still going to be 3 players towards this B side here, 2 towards long, and I don't think that Zeju has really cleared it out here. She has used one of the Prowlers, but she doesn't know how many players are here, if there are still players towards this long area, so they're going to have to be incredibly careful about it. The flash is going to be coming through and giving away information that there's at least 1 player here so far. but a lot of utility being dumped towards this long, it's gonna be just taken down, and not much space being found for it anyway. So it is going to be Angela going for the jump peak. We'll be getting information that there are players coming here, and yep, that's a beautiful combo coming in. Both the C's and the pain shells not finding much,
Yeah.
but causing so much delay here. Only 20 seconds left right now. We're looking at yet another rotation. A good call. The IGL has made the right call because the A side is open. The plant will be able to go through without much trouble here.
Yeah.
And the tour de force, well, it has to find value. Finally, Vulture peeking out at the right time, able to take down
Spike.
Angel. 5 seconds left. The spike hasn't gone down. It might be
No.
too late. BASISSIX might be able to win this just on time. And that is exactly what happens. Oh my god.
Yeah, I love that play there from Madness, though. They went for the old switcheroo there, Zach, but VSX, they were ready for it. They weren't accounting for the fact that there's still the Tour de Force in play by Fulcha here in a site, and single-handedly was enough. Just a perfect kill as well on Angel, who was holding the time at the who was holding the spike at the time. That really is all it took. Just one bullet on the Tour de Force, enough to pivot that round in their favor. Of course, looking at the ult economy, Miguel's the only one with the ult on the board for BASISSIX, and for Madness, they do have the orbital strike in the hands of T once more. And let's talk about T for a second here, Zach. She's been having a blast, huh? The game seems like, what, the third time she already has that ulti in this first half?
Fourth time.
Oh, fourth
I
time.
think.
Sorry. It was I'm toning down a little bit because she's just performing out of her mind. Let's see. This last round is of absolute importance because even though it's still a big lead for Madness, whoever wins this round gonna have that momentum carried over to the pistol in the second half, which of course anything could happen still.
Yes, this is super exciting right now because this round is something that is really crucial for BASISSIX. They do have the firepower and they have the Nightfall available. They're also just one away from that showstopper. So if Angela can get one of those kills, it's gonna be really pivotal. Yet again, the read is perfect. They know that the orbital strike is online and they're gonna be not playing in that U-Haul area. That is something that is going in their favor. However, the push from Shower is gonna be too good here, and unfortunately, Angela is gonna be caught with the wall out. Just 2 players left right now for the side of Madness here, and it seems like they're just going to be booking it towards this B side. They do have control of the spike and the site is open, so that is something in their favor, but they're going to have to play a bit aggressively once they get the spike down. A 2v3, they're going to have to be able to find these picks right off the bat. But look at Miguel. She has the Nightfall. She has almost her entire arsenal ready for this moment, ready for this retake. And it looks really difficult right now. Madness are in a bad position. Their positions are going to be found already. The flash buying some time here, but Sisha is going to be caught off guard. It's all down to just one player, and Siege, she's not going to be able to find anything. 4-8 right now, and finally BASISSIX have found their footing. It's not a bad half. The question is, can they do as well as Madness on attack?
Yeah, that is a question right now. But of course, the first step to that is securing that last round, which BASISSIX absolutely did. And well, I gotta commend Zeju and Sizka there. I mean, they played it as well. Oh, was that Seju actually alive with Sizka in that last moment? But Sizka actually played that well as she could. It's just that the Nightfall and the Haunt was too big of utilities to fight against. She went in for the challenge, but the info was there. She got decayed, and Madness Zen unable to translate that round. But still, VSX during that round means that they are primed and ready for this pistol. I wonder how they're going to approach this though, because Madness, the recurring theme for this game so far has been they get the right read every single time. So I wonder how that's going to pan out here on the defense. It seems like the triple push down in Showers will not really be finding anything anytime soon.
They didn't know that Sender is playing towards here because they have spotted her out, and off the back of that, they are going to be smoking off that angle. 4 players towards this A site on this defender half, but look at the spike. It's waiting towards B long, so it might just be a rotation coming through. They've made a lot of noise. They've used some utility. They've baited the defense into staying towards the A site, but with B long control and the spike heading here, it seems like it is going to be, in fact, a B push. Madness, well, it seems like they're aware of this because the Fade has rotated it over. I don't know if she has her haunt yet. She might. And yep, off the back of this utility being dumped towards this B side, I think they're aware right now that that's
Yeah,
exactly where the hit is coming. The haunt finding nothing, I think. And with that, it's gonna be the retake. A full 5-on-5 is what we're looking at here, Matt.
yeah, exactly. BSX though yet to find the plant in. Fade Haunt goes in, and Angel going to contest the elbow position. Felcher teleports away, but still Mads gaining that control as they pick down the members of BSX one by one. Miguel with 1 HP still gets a kill though. Now it's all down to Michui. But look at the health bars of KitKat and Miguel. All it takes is 1 bullet each, and they're gonna go down. But Miguel coming in from behind. I don't think Michui knows this. And she doesn't.
Oh.
Miguel secures that round. BSX off to a great start in the second half.
I like that they didn't play together because both KitKat and Miguel were aware that it would take like one concurrent shot, one bullet, in
Even
fact, one right click
yeah.
hit right, that would be both of them going
Yeah.
down. So they were aware, they were like, okay, you know what, we'll double peek, but like from different angles. And they managed to get that round 5-8 right now. And this is very, very rough right now for the side of Madness. Even though they had such a good first half, they really have to try. We're looking at a possible 6-8. And after that, they have to try and win these rounds as much as possible because we talked about the map vetoes here. We talked about like how important it is for Madness to take this particular map since Icebox isn't exactly one of their stronger fortes here. So this round they aren't going to be forcing in. You do see 3 shorties, so yeah, I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared for BASISSIX.
Exactly. And what makes it even scarier is that BSX, they're pinging that A site. They're pinging the exact positions where the shorties are going to be positioned at. Tech pause here happening. We do apologize for the delay, folks, but man, I'm going to take that as a break. I need a breather because this game has been absolutely crazy. Madness has been performing amazingly until now, where BSX sort of seemingly have found a second rhythm, but if Madness converts this round 2 into their round, especially with how they're positioned, this is going to be an absolute heartbreaker here for BSX.
Yeah, they have to be really, really careful in this particular round because they're dealing against nothing other than the power of the shorties. I think that at least luckily for them, Madness seems like they're considering not buying shorties. You see a frenzy coming through. They're still debating what exactly to buy here. But either way, if there is gonna be a shorty crossfire, I for one would not want to walk into it. We've seen the kind of meat grinders those things can turn into, and the potential for that in these anti-ecos is just too high. So they're going to have to be really careful about it. They do have a fair share of utility. They have the Boombot, they have the Prowlers, they have the Trailblazers. So all of this is going to making sure that that isn't the case a bit easier. But nevertheless, looking at, while we wait for things to get back to normal, looking at the kills right now, it's going to be Michui who is leading the charge for Madness here. Of course, you expect that from your race players for them to be popping off. But Michui in particular, she is looking incredibly dangerous. And it's not just, I think we've seen her use like a wide variety of guns. We've seen her with the Judge, we've seen her with the Vandal, we've seen her with the Frenzy. Everything that you give her, she just seems to be able to go kill with it, and that is working out really well for Madness. She was so pivotal during these attack rounds.
Yeah. Meanwhile, for BSX, KitKat has been amazing. Not just with the utility usage, but also with the frags, leading the charge in terms of frags for BSX. But look at how methodic BSX are approaching this B site or A site push. They're gonna recover a couple of those members, but the shorty have yet to make that noise. There goes one Prowler, there goes the Boombot in response, but Siska finds one against Sendry, but they don't know that there's still a couple of shorties in the works here. KitKat secures that kill against Siska, leaving Angel all alone in a 1v3.
Spike has gone down as well. Angel has nothing but a frenzy to her name, so that's gonna make things a little bit rough right now. She has to be able to convert these kills, and at this distance, it's gonna be incredibly difficult. She's gonna be spotted out on top of everything else, so now they know exactly where she is, as you say in Cypher's words here. Now it's just going to come down to whether she can do any kind of economic damage, but no, PP Belcher is saying not happening. This is our anti-eco. We're going to be converting it, and with that, BASISSIX, they're going to be standing strong at 6-8, holding on to 3 of those Spectres as well. So that's pretty good for them heading into this bonus. Madness managed to win this bonus round last time around, which is what gave them an overwhelming lead. And if BASISSIX managed to pull off the same, we're looking at an equalizer here.
Yeah, and I love how BASISSIX approached that round too. They didn't really have any info that there's going to be a lot of shorties in a site, but they use the utility correctly. used the paint shells and avoided lamps. That was the most important part for them. None of their members contested lamps until the plant was through, and even then they were so careful in doing so, using Kit Kat's utility to get into that area, and worked out beautifully for them. Now BSX, 3 specters in their hands. Again, they go for the 8-side execute where there's a 3-stack again, but this time a little bit more of an aggressive route. They're pushing outside of bats where Felcha is going to be there. There you go.
Ooh, that is some really good timing. And with that gotcha already finding one, KitKat finding another as well. And with that, the advantage numerically at least is in the hands of BSX. Sure, firepower wise, they're not looking the greatest. And Michui as well able to use the judge to find some action. 2 players pushing in right now from this area to showers the upgraded Phantom wrecking havoc here on the ranks of the BASISSIX players. And as quickly as that off the back of Michui's 2K, that is going to be the round going in their favor. It looked really rough there because it was a 3v4 at some point, and BASISSIX, they had the plan, they had the utility, but nevertheless Madness are going to be able to convert this. They lose quite a bit of value here. They do lose 3 of their players, so that's gonna make the next fight a little bit rough. We're looking at possible half armor, we're looking at a bulldog maybe, but apart from that, this round, Madness, this is gonna be a huge round for both of these teams because Madness, if they manage to win it, even with whatever buy they have, that's gonna be double digits for them. They're gonna be so close to taking out this map. But BASISSIX, this is their full buy. This is their chance to really like shine here, and that's exactly what they're gonna be trying to do.
A little bit of priority here in Hookah, and this is where things get a little bit exciting, if I might say that, for Madness aside, because, well, they have a judge on Michui's hands. Sky Flash is gonna be there to try and discover any of those lurkers just outside of Hookah, but seems like Angela has got the proper read against that play. Another flash comes out in Belong. I don't think BSX are wanting to risk anything anytime soon. Felcha plays with a little bit of fire, but to be able to TP on the way, such is the liberties of a chamber, and steering clear of it. They've caught a whiff of it in BSX. It seems like, again, this time they're turning things around. They're the ones getting the read right.
Oh my god. Okay, that is not something you expect. Angela watching the angle with the Vandal still gets taken down by T's Spectre there. That is huge, and with that, the defense, they're looking more stronger second by second here. The push is coming through showers, but the Trailblazer is going to give away all the info, but it doesn't matter because the BASISSIX players are going to be able to get both those picks off the back of that peak just coming in. You could just see the tip of the Sky's head there. That's going to be so unfortunate. With that, they're going to be booking it towards his B side, but it's not empty
Judge.
because in the tube, that's going to be Michui with the judge.
Oh, no.
She's going to be running out, finding one for her troubles, but that's going to be the spike in the open. 30 seconds left to 2v3 right now, and this is looking so bad for BASISSIX. It looks like they're in so much trouble. The teleporter has been taken as well, so that's going to
They
be
took a spike.
yeah, they took the spike. They're running around again. They're going towards the ace side. What is happening here? Yep, the ace side has been open. The rotations have come through, and I think there is enough time to get the spike down this time around. They're not making the same mistake, and with 5 seconds left on the clock, the spike does go down. At least the BASISSIX players, they will be able to get the plants and get into their post-plant positions. Madness, they were playing a little bit of an eco, a half buy around here. They should be able to pick up the upgrades at the very least.
Yeah.
Angel, for example, she got a Vandal. She only had a Sheriff before, but nevertheless, numerically and time post-plant wise, everything seems to be going in the favor of BASISSIX.
Going in for the lamps push, but KitKat's so good on the swing, and they really had to push those angles because they don't have a lot of those positions. They only had the Haunt to work with and a heal in the hands of Angel there. No wall, which is why they had to get those fights, get into their faces. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to win the swings, and again, Michui finding so much presence with the judge, but BASISSIX fighting right back. KitKat too, finding that kill absolutely pivotal there. If Angel got the swing against KitKat, things would have been very, very different. But now, I believe there's enough in the bank for both of our teams. Stand corrected. Amanda Zen does not have enough, so yeah, things are a little bit rough for them both. Again, another pivotal round in the works here. Madness, they could feel the double-digit scoreline so close, but BASISSIX is just so good at denying them that.
Yeah, they've been looking really good once they switched over to attack. On defense, they couldn't play as aggressive as they like to. They started towards the last few rounds, which is why they were able to really convert those. But on attack, they were just absolutely shining here. Both especially KitKat and Miguel, they've been so instrumental in creating space and also getting those picks. Especially KitKat, she's leading the charger. You know, it's kind of weird seeing her in Sky because most of the time she's on that jet. But yeah, she's phenomenal. No matter what agent you put her on, and yet again she's proving exactly why Arista was able to crush Madness's hopes and dreams for so long because Gekka was a part of that as well. This time around, Madness, they don't have the economy. They are going to beat an eco, but they have quite a few outs. They almost do have that orbital strike. They have that showstopper. They almost have that nightfall. They have two outs already, and they're very close to two more. So even if they don't really have the firepower, they might at least be able to try and retake off the back of these ultimates here. In fact, that showstopper, if it can find one or two, that's going to be incredible right now. The wall doing so much to deny the push coming in, buying at least 20 seconds right now for the side of the Madness players. But I think they're aware that the B site is exactly where the hit is coming through. The Haunt not revealing anybody on site because
Yeah.
there is nobody on site. And it seems like they're going to be falling back though. Oh no.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not sure if Madness knows where BSX are actually heading off to, because if you look at the board, throwing a lot of that utility to try and figure out where BSX are at, and all this time they've been here at long. Nightfall gonna be committed, signaling the start of the push here. Hawk and the Prowler goes out. That's gonna take just one member, that's Angel. That's gonna give the side for BSX, but are they actually gonna commit to it? They're not going for the plant yet, which paves the way for Angela to assert a little bit more dominance in this site. And they go for the switcheroo. Again, they rotate away, and they keep Madness guessing.
But the rotation from Madness has come through as well. Already 3 players here. Even if the spike does go down, it's going to be incredibly difficult. Michui popping that showstopper. That is huge here, doing quite a bit of damage, but not really able to find any of the kills. And Miguel and Angela, they're going to be able to both find picks off the back of that. And it's going to be a very, very quick round. BASISSIX get 8 on the board here, just 1 away from being able to equalize these scores. And that was a really confusing round, but a really good round coming in from them because they saw the Seekers coming in. They heard the teleport on that B side, and they were like, look, we already know there are 2 players on site. We heard 2 more coming through the TP. Let's just go to A because we know it's probably going to be empty. And they were right. If I think Madness had weapons in that particular round, it would have been a bit more dangerous, but because they only had sheriffs, they couldn't really put much of a stop to the push coming in.
Yeah,
But this round, Matt, the stakes are so high now.
absolutely. And they were trying to bait out the couple of ults that Madness had too, which is why the rotation. But BSX, again, pulled out all the stops in that round. And while there are a couple of big ults in the Madness side, they do have a couple of their own as well, the Showstopper being one of them, Tour de Force being the other. So Madness getting very, very careful where they tread. They have no clue where Felcha is with that Tour de Force. Seems like none of them are no, you caught me off guard there. Zach,
I thought I was just surprised with the smoke coming in. It's like they know where the Tour de Force might be. They're not risking it like you mentioned. They're just playing super cautiously here. A 3-stack on this ace site, and yep, that flash is gonna give away info that there are players towards that shower. Showstopper being popped. KitKat finding a pick as well. So these 3 players shower. She's gonna have to be really careful. Senderi though already finding one for her troubles. Angel will be able to shut her down and get the resurrection as well. But Angela, she's ready for it. Can she get these picks is the question. Nope, she's gonna be forced to fall back here. Felcher as well on the flank already, and it's gonna be these players in showers stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. It's just down to Sicha here, 33 HP, a 1v2, and she does not clear that corner. So that's going to be 9-9 right now as BASISSIX. They're mounting this comeback in formidable form. I think at one point it was 7-1 or 8-1, Matt.
8, yeah,
wow.
Yeah, absolutely true. From 8-4, we're now into 9-9. I think it started off as 8-1, yeah, as you mentioned.
8-1, yeah.
And now it's at a 9-9 score line. And again, they've been so good at dodging around, playing around, well, opportunities that Zeju and T could use those ultis, because it's the 3rd round that they have those in hand. Haven't been able to use it because, again, BSX are constantly making them guess where they're gonna go. This time, Okay, the aggression that I've been looking for is finally here for Madness. Of course, in an eco round. But Trademark gonna stop them right in their tracks. Looking undeterred though. So that's gonna turn some eyes for BSX.
Oh, the bait is good. The bait and switch coming in. Machawi managing to find one with the stinger, but that's going to be all they get because the trades come through and the B side is also open for business here. They had taken it already. Just 3 players left right now for the side of Madness as they try to hold in. Angela already getting control of Showers. The Seekers invested as well to get some additional information, and off the back of that, they know that there are still 2 players towards the CT angle here. It's going to be Angela who manages to get a nice little tap onto Saisha there. Just 2 players right now for Madness who have to try and make this retake work. They do have the orbital strike, but I don't think they're going to be investing it because this round looks almost done and dusted at this moment. BASISSIX mounting that comeback from 8-1 to 10-9, and
Wow.
Angel, well, that smoke is going to go away at the worst time possible, and we're looking at a possible map stealing here, Matt.
Exactly.
It's going to be BASISSIX who could steal it away.
Yeah. And the worst part about this for Madness is that they've been at 9 for so long. At this point, you have to account for how the players are feeling right now. Remember, this is their map pick. They started off amazingly. And now, BSX are... They basically put up a sign that says, stop. This is where it ends. You can't go any further. And Madness, they're so frustrated at the fact that they can't inch any more forward. Zejo and T really have to find an opening soon. Maybe the key here is for them to go for a full-on retake, or perhaps play a little bit more reservedly. But other than that, I have no. They have to try something else here. And it seems like B Long is the play they're rooting for. Gravity Well not really making it easy for them though, as the C's into the Page Shells combo have immediately been denied here. They're pushing up. They have to take this TP soon, otherwise Machui's gonna fall down. But the crossfire working so decently, I guess. 2 kills in the works for Madness. The BSX still pushing through in B side.
Yeah, Mitsui took the TP there, so that's going to leave the side more vulnerable, at least man advantage-wise or woman advantage-wise. Things are in their favor. The orbital strike invested as well, doing a bit of damage to Miguel there, but she still manages to stay alive and holds onto that Nightfall. So a 4v3 retake right now, and off the back of that Nightfall, they know where these players might be, but Felcha peeking at the right time, swinging, being able to find Angel is incredibly huge there. They know her position right now, and T, well, she's going to put down the smokes, put down that Molly, and just go for the defuse. They're already half stuck through. The sound cues must be so awkward right now. A 1v1 situation. Angela has to close it out. Half the defuse has come through. And Zijo, she's going to be tapping the spike. Doesn't know where to look. And she looks at long at the wrong time. Angela being able to convert the round 11-9 right now. Madness is in shambles. They don't have the rounds. They don't have the economy. And they don't really have the ults either. This is looking so bad for them right now.
Counter ult from Miguel really just discombobulated the members there of Madness in the in the defusal part. Because look, they're all guessing. They couldn't hear a thing, and they were basically at a massive confusion.
I feel you. I feel you, Matt. I feel you.
Oh, it's just so heartbreaking to see Madness just fall apart like this because BSX is just so good. And they had an amazing start to this game as well. Now, it's so frustrating to watch. And it's just another... I wonder how Madness is going to bounce back. I mean, sure, this time, it's a B-Long aggression once more, but BSX, they already know that this is in the works for Madness because they've done this before.
If there was ever a time for a tactical pause from Madness, it would have to have had been this round because the momentum coming in, or even the previous round, because the momentum coming in from BSX is so strong right now. They've won so many rounds in a row that they're just feeling themselves. You saw, like, last time around how they're willing to take those fights towards B-Long, willing to play for those trades rather than trying to get a pick for free. They're just feeling themselves, and it shows because that's exactly why they're at this position right now. 1 away from match point, 2 away from victory, and stealing this particular pick away. 3 players on this A side, and yep, the flash is going to be good here. They're going to be clearing that corner. Angel, though, will be able to find 1 for her troubles, but that's going to be all that she's able to get. The trademark being broken as well is going to be giving away information that there is a flank coming through. With 20 seconds left on the clock, the spike plant has to come through soon. T able to get that kill and pick up that vandal. The spike plant, though, is good, but the arc, the push coming through. Mitsui getting 1, but it's not enough because Sender is somehow able to convert it, get that Flick online. A 2v2 right now, and this is a round that Madness they have to win. They're feeling the pressure. Saicha popping off, getting
There you
Sender.
go.
It's all down to just one player right now. Miguel has to go huge to be able to clutch it out. The Trailblazer not really gonna be able to find her position, but it's gonna be giving hers away. But the whiff, Miguel is not able to connect the shot here. The push is
No.
coming through. T connecting the
go.
headshot, and finally Madness finding a round that they absolutely had to win, and they make it work. That lurk from Michui was exactly what was gonna clutch them. That so good from them.
Yeah.
Finally.
An amazing smoke play as well from T. Really made sure that BSX could not come back from that round. Played around the smoke so well. And off the stingers too, it was amazing damage here. Oh, this is the moment that I'm talking about. And Felcher falling down there means that BSX kept on their toes in that round essentially. So now things are a little bit different now, Zach. Guns in the works for Mads, but not for everyone. See, Zeju, neither of them have the... Oh, they will be able to pick up the weaponry. And none of them have ults apart from Michui, who again, setting up for another cheeky play in B long.
Yeah, at this point, I think they might expect her. They know this crossfire that these two players like to hold towards long, so they're willing to use the utility to try and clear it out. Yep, already the Prowler is gonna be spotting out Michui's position. The question is Michui going to pop the showstopper? She is. It's party time, but who is it a party for? Is Michui going to be able to convert it or not? Is the question, and no is the answer to that. It's not party time for Madness anyway, because that's the one ultimate that they had going out of the window right there. Off the back of it though, it seems like they yet again want to fight for this long control. So much utility being dumped by both of these teams here. The C's coming through as well and catching the raise. Michui has to hold on so strongly. She used her paint I think she still has her paint shell. That's the only thing that she really has left in her arsenal. And man, these players, they're fighting tooth and nail for this particular angle. That is gonna force Michui off though, and that's gonna leave the B side so much more vulnerable. It's all down to just the Sky and the Fade here, who are desperately trying to stay alive and possibly just play for a retake. That does seem to be the case here. With 30 seconds left on the clock, at least the spike should be going down. And it seems like BASISSIX are aware of where these Madness players might be coming from.
Yeah, they're forcing the retake here, forcing the plant. Angela down to 1 HP,
no.
and Cisco falling down. Means that BSX are going to start rambling on into sight. Of course, 4v3 now as two of the members from Mads finally falling down. Angel still has a hold down in Hookah, which for the most part, the angle that they have a power position in, as long as they take care of Octagon here, Mad can potentially get the defuse, but Angel's unaccounted for, and she finds Angel. And now things are different. Mad 2v4, 2v3 actually, as T gets trundled down to 14. The double swing from Kit Kat. So good, and now it's all down to Zeju. Time running out, slipping away at his hands. So is the round as Kit Kat secures match point for BSX.
Beautiful round coming in from them, and that's the discipline coming in from the BSX players. Like KitKat was in that after Angela, peaked and got that pick. Both Angela and KitKat were playing with such discipline here. Look at KitKat. She's not even looking. She's like, yeah, until Angela dies, I'm not going to be looking at this particular thing. She finally peaks, but by that, they managed to run down the clock so much that Madness were not able to do anything about it at all, and it's looking so rough right now. They barely have a bite. It's going to be Michui on the Judge as well as T on a Spectre. Nothing else much to their name. And the ultimate for the side of BSX. Look at that. They have both the Showstopper and the Seekers here. They should be able to push their way into sight off the back of both of those ultimates. It's gonna be huge right now, and it's looking so rough for Madness. Again, the default's coming through from the side of BASISSIX. They're gonna be waiting patiently. They know that when you're in a desperate situation, people tend to make mistakes. But the Seekers coming through, that's gonna give away information that there are 3 players towards this A side. So they're just gonna be going over to B. The push towards long comes through, but it's not gonna be enough. 3 players from Madness are down. Their hopes and dreams ending. It's all down to just the Fade here. So much to do. 1v5 to clutch out. The Nightfall is invested, but so is the Showstopper, and it's going to be incredibly rough. Round 1, can she find more? Is the question here. No is the answer, as Felcher is going to shut things down. 13-10, BASISSIX still Mad's map pick away.
Wow. I have no words for that game, Zach, but it was... wow. You could absolutely see there that Madness sort of fell short of that defense because they were kind of crumbling. There were signs that they were crumbling under the pressure because BASISSIX were just completely just tumbling down at them. And part of those signs was, of course, the consistent push down and be long. I mean, at a certain point, you have to start questioning when it doesn't work. Do we still go for this? But it seems like Michui and they were really just convinced that that is the way for them to come back into this game. Up until the last moment, that is what they opted for, and by then BASISSIX have already known that that's exactly what they're gonna do. It was a three-man firing squad just outside of Belong, lying in wait to greet them with open arms, and that's where it started to fall apart in that last round there.
Yeah, you really have to give kudos to BASISSIX though. Like the mentor that you need when you're 8-1, you really have to be determined to try and make the comeback, and that's exactly
Mm.
what they did. 8-1 to 13-10. That's the kind of comeback. Let's take a look at the scoreboard to see what exactly was the driving force. Heading into this, it's gonna be Michui, who is the MVP for Madness. We saw her in that first half, absolutely popping off. But Kit Kat, one of the most consistent players
Oh
throughout
yeah,
this entire map for BASISSIX. Usually you see her on the jet, like I mentioned, but I think no matter what agent you put her on, she's gonna be
exactly.
able to pop off. And 24, 2.2 KDA, 262 ACS. That's insane coming in from the sky. I wish you could see her assist because I'm really intrigued to see how many she got with her utility. Because it wasn't just her popping heads; it was also her popping flashes, popping
Exactly.
trailblazers, whatever else was necessary. So. Just incredible coming in from them, and I think the entire team for BASISSIX, they really showed up when when you needed them to. Like every single player, even Senderi, even though she might be right on the bottom of that scoreboard, she was so instrumental with her Astra utility, and of course, just on those lyrics, both Angela and Senderi, they were willing to wrap around the entire site so many times.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest difference maker here between these two teams is that both of them are absolutely amazing on attack. It's just that PSX have a little bit of an advantage on the defense. I mean, sure, it went 8-4 in the first half, but Madness is unable to replicate that when they went into the defensive side. It just feels like PSX came a little bit more prepared on that defense here in Bind, which ultimately got them this way. I mean, sure, they started off a little bit behind for rounds, but the bigger story is they came back and they made it look easy here. BSX, I'm really excited to see what they're gonna show us in Icebox, which is, well, their map pick here. Zach, Madness have a lot of work ahead of them if they want to get back into the series.
Yeah, it's gonna be really difficult right now. Looking at the rounds played as well, I think Six they were just able to crank up so many of those objective wins, and I think that one thing that really worked out for them, the thing that really differentiated them during the defensive half, like you mentioned, Matt, is that at least the rounds that they won, Basics were not afraid to get aggressive. And more than that, they did it in a very planned manner. They didn't do it in the same place every time. Like you mentioned, that Belong was such an area that
Mm,
Madness during their defense they really did not want to let go of. And Basics were aware of that. They knew that Madness tended to stack up B side in these particular areas. Another thing that might have been a huge factor was the lack of a sentinel like Cypher Chamber or
mm.
Killjoy. There just was no utility. You saw a lot of flanks coming through even when Beta 6 were on defense. So either way, that is going to be them stealing away Bind, and things are looking really rough right now for Madness because Icebox is just not their map. But before we do head into the cold tundra, I think we're going to be taking a short break, so do stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, welcome back to the VCT Game Changers APAC LCQ. Datum here casting with Zach for our first series of the day. And what a game one that was, Zach. An absolute comeback from BASISSIX if there ever was one. And the next map, of course, is their pick as well. We're going into Icebox. And, what changes do you think Madness are going to do going to this map here, Zach?
I mean, firstly, they're gonna have to win it. That's gonna be the main thing on board
Yeah.
because it's map number two. For them to be able to push it over to map number three, which is Ascent, they're gonna have to take Icebox. And at least statistically, the odds are not in their favor right now. Matt, Icebox is a map that they're not really very comfortable on, as history tells. And I think they've won Icebox once, even during this particular qualifier. They managed to win it once, but apart from that, they've just had a loss streak on this map that goes back all the way to Open Force. So it's a map that they usually tend to ban the second time around, but it seems like BASISSIX they're aware of that, and that's exactly going to be why they're picking it. Not just because Madness is like not very comfortable on it, but also because they're super comfortable on it. They've beaten every single team in this group stage. They've beaten them in a very dominating fashion. It's kind of funny because both of these teams they run the same agent comp on this particular map. They go for a single duelist, single. Um, Initiator and Double Sentinel comp. So Icebox, it's very meta. Both of them haven't really changed things much around. So it's gonna come down to which team plays better. And the odds, at least so far, are in BASISSIX favor. But Madness, well, you can never predict what exactly they're gonna be pulling out of the hat here. We did see what an incredible first half they had on Bind, and
Yeah,
their IGL was right on points, but they just lost that kind of thinking throughout the second half, and I'm kind of worried if that's gonna be the case here.
exactly. I feel like one of the biggest things that is under sort of the undertones in bigger maps like Icebox is the prowess that you can showcase when you're on the attacking side. That's where your experience really shines through. And in that regard, I feel like Madness, despite not having as much success statistically, at least in Icebox, I feel like they have that figured down to the wire because they've been around for a while and they have been a team for together far longer than BASISSIX have, and that could be key here going into Icebox. Of course, being in a mirror matchup is going to showcase that even further. And we saw how good Madness were on the attacking side in the last map, so I can't see how they can't replicate that into Icebox. The question is, how are they going to pull through on the defense? I mean, of course, that's where their composition is a little bit more geared towards anyway. As you mentioned, they have double duelist, Sage and Chamber is a standard for both of these teams. I wonder though if both of them or either of them are going to shift away from the chamber because of the recent chamber nerfs. It's a pretty big nerf. They increased the bullet cost by 50%, which is absolutely massive. But it's pretty interesting how almost everyone still loves playing chamber.
I mean, when you have a free operator for your ultimate, it's still a phenomenal agent, even with the nerfs coming through. But I'm not sure if we're gonna be on. I think we are still on the last patch here, if I'm not wrong,
Oh,
because
mm,
so that the ultimate is still 7. You still have those really fast TPs, and a lot of things do go in your favor. Like I don't think the patches really
no.
come through, so that is something that you're very, very likely that we're still gonna be seeing Chamber. More than that, I'm excited to see if both Michui and KitKat are gonna go back to their usual antics on Jet. But Agent Select is ready, so that's it's gonna be enough of us talking and speculating about what's gonna be happening. Let's see what is going to be the case exactly coming in for both of these teams here. And so far, nobody has really picked up anything. That's still the compositions from the last time around, so don't get too excited, too sad about it. T is gonna be going in for that chamber pick right off the bat. We saw her put up a phenomenal show on that brimstone. This time around, though, it's going to be her on the chamber, and with firepower like that, it's gonna be pretty interesting. Yep, it's gonna be a perfect mirror comp, the most meta comp that Icebox has ever seen. I don't think we're ever gonna be done with this comp unless something overwhelming happens to either these agents or these
Yeah,
maps. But yeah, I think while it's a mirror comp, what I'm really looking forward to is seeing KitKat versus Michui. Like I
exactly.
was saying before we head into this, both of these players so consistent on Jet. It's their favorite agent, and you know, especially since KitKat just played Sky and popped off. How much better is she gonna do on Jet?
Yeah, exactly. That was what I was about to point out too while you were talking about it. Kit Kat had an amazing performance in Bind as the Sky, so I can't see how she's not gonna pop off again on the Jet this time around. A couple of differences as well. T is gonna be taking on the mantle of that chamber instead of being that controller, and T did have a pretty good start there in the last game. Had a lot of frags. I distinctly remember that on the first half, T used the orbital strike eight times. So,
4 times. First
sorry,
half.
sorry, 8 times is way too many.
Yeah.
Four times, four times. So T on the chamber this time. Nice change of pace here. Can play a little bit more aggressively. Can open up to a lot more plays here for Madness Zen, and can't wait to see how Madness is going to perform. Now they are starting off on the defensive side, so I would expect them this time to play a little bit reservedly as they did in that last game. But I want to see some changes on how they approach it because, of course, they've had a lot of criticism on how repetitively they could become. This time, see if they're actually going to change pace here.
Yeah, I like the stack coming in. The players who are playing on this A side, they have the Jet, of course, who can get a little bit aggressive and does do so, but will be forced off the back. They also do have that Sage as well as that Viper here. So if they do want to go for this A side, which the side of BASISSIX, which the side of Madness really likes, they like to execute on this particular A side. They are gonna be stopped right off the bat because they are not. There's both the Viper and the Sage. It's really gonna be really hard for you to get into that. More though, T has managed to push off Angela off this angle, but she's gonna be caught off guard, and that's going to be Angela getting the first pick, going towards BASISSIX here, and the rotation has come through as well. It is going to be a B hit most likely, and this is very bad right now for Mad because they do not have that wall. They already invested it, I think, towards this A side here. All they really have to push forward is a Sova recon. They will at least be able to get the spike down, I believe, because there's nobody on site, but they're looking at a full 5-on-5, a full 5-on-4 retake. You're already at a bit of a disadvantage, and if they can play post plant, if both Citra as well as Angel can play around with those shock darts
Yeah.
and of course those snake bites, it's gonna be going in their favor. But if they're gonna be taking on those fights, well, it's not good for them.
Yeah, Angela didn't really have to play that aggressively, but now she's pushing up. Found Siska's head already. Decapitating that Sova. Stage for the trade. Felcha finds another, but it's a defuse being stuck here by Sendry, and everyone's got to push up. Seidra and Michui have to press the issue, but the smoke not really letting them. And that's the first round. BSX, they take it out by brute force.
Yeah, well, at least Ziju was able to find all those picks at the end, getting already halfway there for that Sage resurrection. But unfortunately, she's gonna have a bit less money in the bank than everybody else because of the fact that, well, she did not die. So that's a bit unfortunate. She will be able to compensate for it at least by getting a few of those kills online, but yeah, that's going to be the first round going in favor of BSX, and that was off the back of Angela. She had perfect timing. She was able to get 2 kills right off the bat, and that is huge right now. With that, they're going to be getting that full buy in. They have Angela on the Marshall this time. Again, holding down on this, I think B side. Yep, it is going to be Angela towards this B side here, and it's going to make things even more rough. Yet again, it seems like they want to go in for the A push. Angela has swapped over towards mid, and that's a very good call because you do see a lot of lurking coming out already. Angel is going to be spotted out, but the shot goes wide, and that's going to be at least one angle, which Madness might be able to exploit a little bit.
3 people stacked up against the Viper wall, and first contact goes in the way of Felcha. That's the duelist gone here for Madness, so makes it a little bit hard for them to get into sight, even with the walls now coming up. And with KitKat still with the Spectre in hand. There is no wall anymore for the defense, but KitKat plays around with the ropes. Finds 2 from the get-go. She's looking for more now. 3K in the bank will actually be denied by Felcha, but either way, it's looking so clean here for BSX. Last woman standing, C, will still get shut down by KitKat, so that's flawless done and dusted by BSX, but of course, kind of telegraphed for that to happen in this game, or rather in this round. Now, I wonder how BSX are going to approach this. They had some very creative routes to become the aggressor on the defense last time in Bind. In round number 3, that's where you can showcase that, and 4 Spectres in hand. I wonder what they're gonna do, what shenanigans they're gonna pull off here.
Yeah, it seems like this time around Madness, they're going to be going for a B and mid hit instead. And both of these, both the Viper and the Chamber for the side of the defense are going to be going a bit aggressive. So that might go in their favor. Angela being spotted out already will be forced to rendezvous away here. And Michui, she's not letting up here. She's going to be pushing the matter further. T already finding KitKat, that first pick coming in on that lurk. But look at the spike. It's on its way towards this A side here. Just a Sage right now, trying to keep the A side safe as possible here. Will be doing a bit of damage before being forced to fall back, and yep, I think they're aware that it's gonna be an execute. She hears 3 guns spraying at her, so she's gonna probably be calling in for the backup from the form of the Soa. But there's so much control right now from these Mad players. Both A and B have been advanced on so far. Michui finding the second pick right now for the side of Madness, and well, yep, with the control that they've already established on B, the spike is gonna be heading over there as well. So Madness, they should be able to convert this bonus round, unless of course something miraculous happens with Michui. She's gonna be denying any of that.
Yeah. Felcha and Miguel slowly making their way down into B site. Spike is yet to go down though. There you go. Plant now coming in from Angel. Miguel playing this one up close and personal, but not really a lot of options when you have the Spectre in hand and a couple of members unaccounted for. Michui actually so deep down into the defender side spawn, and she finds Miguel. Now, she's looking for Felcha. So close, so there could still be one, but Chewy's done with the 4K. Flawless done. Second in a row, this time for the other side of the board here. Madness on the board.
And almost flawless round. Wow, Michui going particularly huge there.
It was a flawless, I believe.
Yeah, it was, you're right.
Yeah.
A Flawless round,
So
and
clean.
Michui with the 4K. That was insane.
It was.
Yes, but this time around, this is a round which BASISSIX, they have their full buy. They they are gonna be having rifles. I think every single player except for Michui is gonna be running that Vandal. So the Phantom pick is a bit interesting on a map like Icebox. But hey, it's working for her. Don't knock it. Again, she's gonna be pushing fearlessly. This time with the help of the Sova drone, and yet again they managed to establish control all the way up to yellow almost, because I think the drone did manage to clear out yellow there. So it is going to be the B side that seems like it's being aggressed on. In the meantime, the center, she knows where the trademark is likely to be, so she's just going to be able to smoke it off and push forward here. She might, in fact, be two players, in fact, pushing
Wow.
through. They might be able to catch Michui
They're not
off
ready for
guard.
this.
Yeah, they're not ready for this. That's exactly right. And both of these players are going to be caught in such a vulnerable position. In the meantime, though, this is just a distraction. The spike is heading all the way to that A site. So that's going to make things very, very rough. Ziju already finding one on that A side. And with that, the spike will be going down. A 4v3 right now. They might not have the man advantage, but they do have the site. And they do have the plan. So they should still be able to get into post-plan positions. It's not hopeless right now for the side of Mad.
Yeah, as long as they get the shots in. They do have a wall to aid them out as well. A Sage wall at that. But it's a little bit of an aggressive position here for Zeju. And T as well. Guessing game now as to where all of these members are. T finds one, so that makes it very, very possible here for Mads to convert this round once more. Cloudburst is there, but there is no Viper smoke available anymore here for the defuse to come in. Angel picks up Miguel, but the push from T not really hitting its mark until the Cloudburst disappears. And T, 3k for the second round here. Mads, again, secure that round, but a lot of damage done. 4 members going down there means that I'm not sure if they have the bank to work with going into round number 5 here, Zach.
Yeah, they might not, but they do have ultimates. Like, I know for sure that Michui does have the Blade Storm to work with in this particular round, so that's gonna be something that they can really use. But more than that, I think BASISSIX, they're gonna be on the back foot here. They're gonna be stuck in that eco position. KitKat might try to get that ult orb, try to get that Blade Storm online here, but it seems like Madness, they're aware of it. They don't really want to let it get that far. T also just won away from the tour de force it. Madness will, after winning those 2 rounds in a row, they are gonna be able to have enough of a buy to really be able to head in. KitKat does manage to get the Blade Storm online, so she's gonna be the the agent around which this round pivots for the side of BASISSIX here. She's gonna have to go huge and really try and make things work because the attack is on. Madness is just forcing their way in.
Wow.
Both Senderi and Felch are able to find 2 already. Michui caught in the open in an awkward position between 3 players. The resurrection as well, so much being invested here, and this eco round is going to be swinging at least in favor of BASISSIX. When it comes to manpower, they will also be able to pick up those guns, and Angel, well, she's so low. A 2v3 right now, make that a 1v3. It's all down to just Angel here. Manages to find 145 HP left, does have the spike, and does have the Viper's Pit, so that's going to be very important heading into this round. But Felcher, she's going to be able to pop in her resurrection as well, so that's going to bring it down to a 1v3. And I don't know, Matt, this round does not look very good for them. Good for BASISSIX right now. I'm sorry, Mads right now.
45 health too on Angel, which is why she's going back in for the double whip here in sight, but she gets discovered. Tagged down to 5. Did get 1 kill against KitKat though, so actually gonna commit the Viper's Pit here for the plant. And she wants this round. Doesn't want to give it away despite the resurrect already committed by Felcha. Control here, Zach. Yeah, they don't want to slip that momentum away, which is why they're contesting it. An Angel, oh, she's being so cheeky with it.
Seems like they expect it though. Both of these BASISSIX players, they seem to expect that the Viper might be close. Oh no! She isolates it.
Now, all it takes is 1 stray bullet. She turns it around, Zach. Of course, she's gonna fall down in the end, but job's done there for Angel. 3-2, Madness continue their streak. Let's see that Viper Split play one more time. It was absolutely amazing. I believe it was full HP for both of those players, both Zeju and Sizka.
Yeah, I don't think they had armor, but yeah, nevertheless, both of them were at 100. So, I do not know how you win that, but she played it so beautifully. She played it so patiently, isolated those fights, and of course the Viper's Pit was the win condition there. Even with 5 HP, she was able to close it out. So well, that's the round going in favor of Mad. It was an
Take
eco
flight.
for the side of BASISSIX, so they shouldn't be feeling too bad about it. They did invest the Resurrection, though, so that's not ideal. Already, the Operator is going to be spotted out, though. Angela is going to be forced to rendezvous away. I don't know if they know she has an op, and look at this cheeky play from Senderi, but only able to find one. This is less than ideal.
Yeah. Operator still in the works, as we mentioned, and seems like the push is going to make its way first into the back lines. Now Mad's getting pincered from both directions here as they struggle to regain control of this round. Zaja picks up Kit Kat, so that's a pretty great start here. Forces out the barrier orb from Felcha and immediately shuts down the flank here from BSX. Now, Madness, they have to decide, should they commit to this A site or risk going to the other side of the map? And it seems like they're going for the latter, which is a pretty good idea here for the most part.
Yeah, they know that 2 players are on this A side, and it's only going to be the stage there, so it's a good call. It's a 3v1 fight that they're trying to pick. The heal has come back as well, so Michui is going to be back at 100 HP, and they're just going to be able to force their way into site. We'll be able to get the plant down as well, though the wall is immediately broken. That's going to make things a little bit more difficult right now, and the backup is here. The cavalry has rode in from the side of BASISSIX, the Operator back online, and they can't rotate again. They have to get the plant here. The push too good right now, but the picks still come through for Madness.
No.
It's going to be a 1v2, and Siju, she's going to be able to get the spike down. That is so unfortunate right now. Angela, at least she knows where both of these players could be. But apart from that, with this Operator, she has to somehow make this retake work. And I don't like the odds, Matt. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like how she has to go through this. Already knows the position of Michui. Connects the headshot. But does she know? Does she know where the sage is? Yep, she does manage to spot it out. Has to hit the right click here. And it's not going to happen. Zichu will be able to close it out. A 4th round for Mad. And yet again, they're looking so confident of this attacking half. They pick up that Operator as well. So yeah, that's a good round coming in for them.
Yeah, proving statistics wrong this time around. Mads looking absolutely fantastic. 4th round in a row, I believe. And they seem to recover it every single time. Whatever BASISSIX throws at them, they shove it away and secure the round for themselves. They retrieve the Operator as well. So it's double the damage on BSX's side. Man, I really thought Angela was going to save that op after that. But now he's playing a little bit more aggressively, and the swing is amazing. Michui is the first to fall prey to that tour de force. And suddenly, Madness have taken a step back. They don't necessarily want to commit to this A-side push, but they are still looking for a little bit more control before perhaps rotating or pulling the trigger.
Look at the position of Madness's chamber. She's sitting all the way back in spawn, waiting for the lurks to come through. And it might be the first pick that, in fact, goes into the tip of the skull. T is going to spot it, and Angela goes down. That's the tour de force offline here, and that is a pivotal pick right now because that opens up the A side yet again, at least in their eyes. They knew that the chamber was here, but they don't know how many other folks are playing here, and it's good. The answer to that is going to be 2, or both the Sage and the Viper are here. That recon both should be able to give away information, but Senderi is not going to be spotted out. That's a very interesting angle that she's playing, and with the Bucky, she's going to have to go huge already, finding one and trying to fall off the angle. She has a Viper spin as well if she wants to invest it. Seems like she's not going to be doing that, but nevertheless, 3 players on this A side right now. I would not advise pushing into this.
Great setup there for Sendri, nullifying that recon bolt, but still they don't check him, check her. And now she finally goes down, but by then the damage has already been done. Miguel's the last one standing. She's only got a Marshal.
Spike planted.
I wonder if she's able to pull through here, but does get one kill, quite curiously so. But I believe T does have the Operator and all the time in the world here. All she has to do is hold on, wait for the peak, and it's about to happen. It's all being set up for T right now. Remember, 8 HP left on Miguel.
She doesn't know. She doesn't know. She doesn't know where she is. And I think the player is disconnected as well. So Miguel might just be able to stick the spike. This is a very, very unfortunate situation right now for Mad.
Wow.
because unfortunately we're gonna be heading into a tech pause after this. T was disconnected. She will have that operator, so that's small. That's a small consolation at least. But yeah, BASISSIX managed to pull off that 30 round, one with the tour de force. But more than Angela, it is going to be the Viper who was the hero of that particular round there, going huge with the Bucky Sentry, finding two. It's bad enough to find one with a 950 credit weapon, but getting two on a Nika round, that is
Yeah.
phenomenal coming in. And of course, Miguel, this clutch from her, that's exactly what BASISSIX need to try and get their head back in the game. And it seems like that's going to be the case, but I feel really bad for Madness because that would have most likely been their round 8 HP. It's if I think if T hadn't disconnected, they would have probably had it in the back.
Yeah. Absolutely. Of course, we are in a technical pause, folks. Sorry, I would have to apologize because some of our players are experiencing technical difficulties. But wow, madness, huh? They looking on point again. This looks very very similar to how they started off the attacking side in the first map. But key difference being BSX, they're keeping it close, only a 1 round differential. And they gotta be feeling pretty good off of that last round, especially Sendry. Look at Sendry. She's top fragging off the back of that Bucky double kill. And she's already got the Viper Spit online once more. This is it's the second time, I believe. Oh no, it's the first.
Yeah, it's the
I'm not,
first time.
first
I
time.
think
Yeah. She
Angel was
hasn't
the one
committed
who
it. Yeah,
used it. Yeah.
yeah. Haven't committed it yet.
Yeah, so two major ults available for BASISSIX, like you mentioned. They have the Viper Spit on Sentry, and they also have that Hunter's Fury from McGill. But if Madness, once their players are back, if they can get this spike down, that's going to be huge coming in from them, because they also have the Hunter's Fury available from their Sova, so that's going to be huge. They also have Ziju's Resurrection, the second one, I believe, coming in. So yeah, Ziju's definitely having a great game so far. She wasn't, she was good on the Fade last time, but it seems like Sage is what she really likes playing, because she's not playing Sage like a Sage. She's playing Sage like a Duelist at this point.
Yeah.
What you'd call the Battle Sage archetype, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Well, both of them, for that matter, Zeju and Felcha, both playing very very aggressively here. Top two on the leaderboard, well, at least for Felcha, and then top one for Zeju on each respective team. But a lot of impact being found here. Typically, you expect the biggest impact from Sage from the wall, right, and the perhaps the slow orbs and the heal and the resurrects. But because of how many frags Zeju and Felcher are finding in this game, there's a very healthy ult sustainability here, or revive sustainability here for both of our teams, especially Madness. Zeju is amazing right now, and Michui, of course, back on her signature jet. Great job here providing the space creation for Madness, but can't say the same for KitKat. Seemingly hasn't found the same rhythm that she did on the Sky last game.
Yeah, she's having a bit of a slow start here. You did see her. She's not been able to play the same level of aggressiveness on this defensive half as she would really like to. A lot of the time, she tends to go aggressive on this A angle, and she either immediately has to fall off or she gets punished for it. So things are less than ideal, is the nicest way I can say it. But it's KitKat, man. Once you put her on the attacking half, I'm sure she'll revert back to her usual ways. In fact,
Mm,
Icebox being a map that's structured the way it is, and with this particular agent comp, I think that as long as BASISSIX can, even if they can manage a 6-6 half, they should be able to perform really well on the attacking half if KitKat can show up. And she shows up when you need her to, so that's definitely something that is in their favor. But, you know, they have an operator back on that. Angela is going to be able to invest in one yet again. So we've seen how she can really change things around. Like last time around, never mind, she's going to sell it again. But nevertheless, last time around, like it was the Tour de Force that was able to really get that first pick. It was able to stop Michui, I believe, right in her tracks. And that was a really huge pick coming in for the side of BASISSIX, because that's her jet. If you shut down the jet on a map like Icebox, it's going to make attacking into sites so much rougher. Like that's why Michui is having such a great time on that B side. She's just able to float in, updraft, float in, dash in off the back of the Tova drone, and she's just able to really get a lot of control for the side of Madness. She's just not able to replicate that success really on the A side because of the fact that both the Viper and the Sage are playing there. So
yeah,
they need to figure out how to break into that A side here.
or they could avoid it entirely there. Could perhaps I don't think we've seen a single mid or kitchen push, at least here, for both of our teams, and neither of them are, or rather BSX is not necessarily providing, or rather prioritizing, that wall into the tube as is the standard, right? So absolute option that Madness could opt for there.
Yeah, they
So
have a trademark. Like these days, people just save them
that's
all
true.
for
That's true.
sites or for retakes. They just put down the trademark because it's cheaper, right? 250
Yeah, but
versus 200 versus whatever.
yeah, but if you take a look at the positioning from Angela, she's always been prioritizing the sites over that mid control as such right now, especially when she is holding that operator. The trademark is in B main, and earlier it was in A main, I believe. So really, it's an opportunity up for the taking here for Madness, but they haven't really been able to find as much of a read as they did in the attacking side in Bind, which is why the game is a heck of a lot closer as it is right now compared to the last one. But still, looking pretty good here. Of course, technical pause here for both of our teams. Again, guys, we're really, really sorry. Trying to get it fixed up as soon as possible. But let's talk a little bit more about the ult economy here for both of our teams. Both Hunter's Furies are available for each Sova, and Viper Spit is up for Sendry. Maybe perhaps the Bucky plays could be called upon again by Sendry. But Xavier does have the Resurrect available, so essentially a 6v5 here for Madness. Should anyone fall prey to that operator, they could easily bounce back. But I'm not sure if they will commit to the full buy this time around. I mean, sure, they have enough creds if T provides some of that firepower to their teammates. But now, I think we're ready to get continued with the game. T is back on the screen, and Madness looking to reassert their presence into this first half here, Zach. Wonder how they're going to pull this off. Are they going to go for the forced buy here? Angel on the Sheriff, and I feel like they will.
Yeah, they
Yes,
can
they will.
afford it. Yeah, and
Mm.
Mitsui has the Blade Storm, so it should be able to afford this particular round. But it is going to be the last one that they can comfortably afford. So they really have to try and convert this. Both of these teams are looking at a possible economical reset if this round doesn't work out in their favor. So it's very important. The scores are so close that this round matters quite a bit in the context of this half and in the context of economy. So I think that, like you mentioned, Madness does have a leg up when it comes to the ultimates. At least they have two pivotal ultimates apart from that Bladestorm that they really need to use. But that Viper Spit, it's gonna make attacking really, really rough if they invest it right off the bat onto that ace site here, which is a very big possibility, I think.
The 3 stack though, so may not be the investment. They might be reserving it for the post plan, which actually BSX has been finding a lot of success with. Of course, it's Sendry. She can play very, very aggressively when she wants to. And the Viper Spit is sort of a counterintuitive start to the way she plays. But of course, these players are very, very flexible. They can opt for many different play styles, changing every single round. And with the operator in play, they know this for a fact because team got a kill in that last round. And they actually scratch that. They invest the Viper Spit early on here, forcing out the Al Drone early from Sizga. She spotted out one member, I believe. So they don't know that this is a 3 stack in a site. Again, one member looking for that flank. And expectedly here, Zach, things are a little bit slower.
Yeah, that Viper Spit has just put a full-on stop to anything, and I'm intrigued about this particular variation of it. But in the meantime, Angela's locking down mid, already finding Sasha, taking down that Hunter's Fury. They do have that resurrection available, but it's gonna be risky to be able to get the player back up. They're gonna have to invest the wall as well. The Hunter's Fury comes through. Will it be able to find any value? I don't think so. It's not going to be able to do anything. And again, the trade comes through as T with the operator steps in. That's going to be the other Hunter's Fury that's now offline. Bit of an awkward situation there towards mid. Buying a lot of time, though, for BASISSIX. And it seems like they are going to be trying to go in for this A execute here. The Hunter's Fury not really able to find anything as KitKat are really taking down one player. If they walk through this pit, they're going to have to get through Sendery's jaws here. And they realize that the A site is just an untenable area to get into. They can't deal with this much stuff. The problem is with only 20 seconds left on the clock, they have to rush towards this B side, and there's already that operator in place here to try that they have to try and contend with. Angela finding the second on the round, 8 seconds left. There's no time to get the spike down, and that is going to be the round right now for the side of BASISSIX. A huge round coming in. At least he might be able to hold on to that operator. Never mind. Angela's gonna shut that down. A 4K for Angela and the round for BASISSIX here. It's gonna push Madness into
Yeah,
a bit of a half buy or a broken buy, and that was huge coming in from them. Absolutely huge.
yeah. Unfortunate overlook there by the members of Mads. They weren't accounting for the fact that Angela had enough creds for an op. If perhaps they didn't go for the last minute rotate, could have anticipated it or perhaps catch an inkling of info that Angela was holding on to it, but because they didn't, even though T was so deep all the way down into the defender side spawn, they were unable to convert it. Now, seem to have learned their lesson. They're taking things up a notch and as they try to speed it up, but Michui again, the first to fall down on the Mads ranked. T, the next, shortly thereafter. The wall is forced out here. They really are running out of options. Of course, it is the eco, but they really invested so much going into this round. A couple of Bulldogs, Spectre in the hands of Angel, but
Oh no.
okay, Mad. They find the 2 kills. And this is where BSX start to question their actions.
It's just Felcha right now on this B side. They know that she tends to play here. She's going to be playing in this close angle as well. A very high risk, high reward situation. They've cut the noise and they're going to check it. They're going to check it. If they're not careful, it's going to be the kill coming in. And with
Wow.
that, it's back to a 2v2. The B side open
Guns.
as well. Just Saitra left alone towards the side here. And I think the Viper Spit is 3 away. Never mind. It's not anywhere close. The rotation has come through. The operator is still online as well. So if they're not careful, it's going to be very, very rough right now. The spike plant is tapped at the very least, but they're going to be able to spot out both of these players, and they will be able to convert it. That was a very, very forced round coming in from the side of Madness, but they still almost made it work, and you got to give them kudos for that. But nevertheless, Angela and Miguel both managed to keep their cool, and they take the lead. They take the lead here, and it was huge coming in. That's pretty huge for them because they still have that operator. Angela still manages to hold on to that. They also get closer to the resurrection, which they've been working towards. Felcha has that, and finally, this is going to be the last round, which Madness can really try and buy into in this particular half if they're not careful about it. So they're going to have to try and do their best to convert this particular round, because otherwise, well, BASISSIX are at risk of running away with it. And if this is them on the defense, you saw how aggressively they tended to play down towards Belong. I'm kind of afraid of how their attacking is going to look like, Matt.
Yeah. Not only is their economy in a risky spot, though, it's also the state of the game that's very reminiscent of the second half where they got into 9 and then they didn't get anything else after that. Remember, they got to 4 very early on, and Mad, seems like BSX have found their footing way earlier this time. And again, Madness really have to try everything, give everything they've got, not to let what happened in game number 1 happen here again in Icebox. Which is why they're really investing everything into this round number 10. Of course, things not looking the best for them. T is 1 away from the Tour de Force, so that's one of the biggest factors here. If T gets an opening pick or perhaps get orb priority, seems like he will be she will be opting for that first part of that as she puts that rendezvous very, very aggressively down in B and in orange. But again, guys, another technical pause here in the works. I have to apologize, but you know how it is, Zach, right? The internet here in Asia is chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. It's the best.
Yes, if your chef is somebody who is not exactly a Michelin star chef, that kind of chef's kiss, it's not ideal. Trust me. Anywhere in APAC, unless you live in Singapore, I guess the internet is not great, and
Yeah.
I feel really bad for T because she disconnected at the worst time possible. She managed to. If she would have probably won that round if she was there, but the fact that she was not there, that let BASISSIX gain the next 2 rounds after that. So hopefully it doesn't happen yet again. I think that's what they're trying to make sure during this technical pause. Fix things around, make sure that T is available, because you really don't want your chamber player to disconnect, especially when they're holding on to that operator or, like you mentioned, Matt, the Tour de Force that she might be using. I think that they're probably not going to invest it this particular round because economically, at least, the bank is not looking really, really good right now for Madness, and so they want to be able to have those ultimates to play with in case they're forced into a broken buy. So I think the T will, unless it's a clutch situation where she has to pull out the Tour de Force, I don't think that you're really going to be seeing her using it this time around.
Yeah.
But BASISSIX, they're starting to things are starting to pick up for them. Like we saw what happened in Bind when you let them get a few rounds in a row. They get the momentum, they get into their comfort zone, and they start playing absolutely insane. And we're getting closer and closer to that heading into this particular map. Like you already see that both Felcha and KitKat are much more comfortable playing aggressively on either side. They're getting those picks right now, and things are starting to fall into place for them. So this technical pause, it might actually be a blessing in disguise for Madness, because they
Yeah,
can use it not only to fix their internet, but also to break the momentum which BASISSIX have built up so far.
absolutely. Basics, when you give them that avenue of sort of a snowball going in their side, as a manner of speaking, it's very, very hard to stop. And the best thing about it is, the craziest thing about it is that Basics are not necessarily doing anything crazy to get to this point. They're not over aggressing, and they're not really pushing up, perhaps in mid or in B. They're just playing, well, very, very off the books. They're playing amazingly, but with their fundamentals. And that's the hardest part about Madness here. How do you counter a team which is just fundamentally good? How do you stop them from getting that momentum that once they get, they are very, very hard to stop? That's the question here for Madness. They're the ones realistically at a pressure point right now. I mean, of course, we've been talking about that over and over again, only because it's so true. And the bank very much so reflects that. That, man, I just can't overstate that fact. BSX, they're looking again at a prime spot to take over this game once more. Madness, they have to stem the bleeding right now before it gets out of hand.
That is the case here, and it seems like they're going to be going towards an area of the map that they haven't really tried to control so far, which is mid. Now, both the Chamber and the Viper are ready to aggress here. I don't know if they'll be able to really do much or find much value as they go forward. Already, KitKat with the aggression, trying to get that first pick, does a little bit of damage, but will be forced to fall off the angle. That Joan as well spotting out T here, but
Uh-oh.
oh no, the push from Sandary! That's going to be the first pick yet again going towards BASISSIX here, who have shifted sides. It seems like Sandary is doing her best to cosplay as an attacker, and man, is she finding success with that. Heading into A side though, the push has come through, and KitKat yet again, she doesn't have her dash anymore. No get out of jail card is available for her, and well, she's trying to desperately hold on here. 4 players right now from BASISSIX onto
Yeah.
this A site, as they're not gonna let Madness plant. They're not gonna let them get into any kind of post plant position. They're just gonna be holding on and fighting as much as they can to keep control of this site, and I think that's the right call, because already you can see Senderi spotting out the head of that Jet player. I believe
Oh.
both Belcha and KitKat shutting this push down. Absolutely, just 2 players left for the side of Madness. Angel finds one, but can she find more? Can she do the same clutch that she pulled off the last time around?
And push from behind as well. The operator in the hands of Angela. Sentry is just taking the matter into her own hands as she goes for the 3K. And wow, Sentry starting off the round just as well as she did in the ending it. That's amazing job here for Sentry. And I go back to my point that BASISSIX, they're not necessarily doing anything crazy to secure these rounds. This time, Sentry, she went for a push in mid, and Madness wasn't expecting it because, again, BSX, they don't always do that. They don't always offer that aggression, and because they did, it's sort of the conditioning here for BASISSIX that we always play conservatively until we don't. And Madness, they really paid big time for that round. I mean, you could see it as well. The moment that Sentry rotated up into behind the lines of, or rather into backside in A, Angela has got that angle covered so that if Madness went for the rotate, they really had nowhere to go because Angela had the op, and all it takes was a single shot, and bam, again, they stopped right at their tracks. So Madness, we talked a lot about how that round was very, very pivotal for them. And now they're getting forced into another eco, again, another timeout, just to try and stop that momentum from building from BSX, already on top of that very long tech pause. But I don't think, honestly, Zach, I don't think BSX are going to slow down because of these timeouts.
Oh no, I completely agree with you. It's not going to be happening. The one weapon that Madness then really have to work with in this particular round is, like you mentioned, that tour de force. I think that T will be activating it, and it's going to be the game changer if she can actually find some value with it. Angela, yet again with the operator, this time posted up towards that ace site. So playing aggressively, so aggressively right there. The first interaction already, it's going to be Sisha who will be able to at least drone her out of that angle. But nevertheless, that's going to be the drone used to clear off the operator. In the meantime, though, look at this push down towards mid. 4 players funneling through under tube onto that B site. So at least the spike plants will be coming through without much trouble. That's the one thing that's in their favor. But apart from that, I don't know. I don't know about this because they're going to be funneled into one particular area here. Oh
Oh
no!
no!
The gap in the wall, KitKat is going to be able to exploit it and get that pick. The spike at least went down. That's going to be a bit of an advantage. But the Sheriff, 2 picks going in the favor of Mazier. Again, it shifts over to them. And if he can somehow convert this, it's not going to be happening as both KitKat and Miguel find so much value. It's all down to just a 2. It's down to a 2v1 Sisha with that operator. Can she get the collat? No, Senderi is going to be able to shut that down. But for a second, that round looks so scary for the side of BASISSIX. Those Sheriff picks coming in towards mid. That was insane.
Yeah, beautiful setup right there on the Viper wall and the barrier orb. And they really pincered that spot here in orange, but made it so close as well with the Sheriff shots. End of the day, BSX, the clutch potential of this team is just so good. And again, it's Senderi to end the round there for BASISSIX. Phenomenal performance here for Senderi in Icebox. Again, Viper Spit online here. She's certainly deciding where she wants to position that Viper Spit at right now. But I doubt she'll be committing it early on, unless she does. Yeah, I doubt it. Maybe she's saving it for the post plant here just to make sure, because Angel has got her own Viper Spit as well. So the way that works is whoever pulls the trigger first has a little bit of a disadvantage because theirs is the one that might be challenged. Okay, here we go. Angela though with the first opening pick. BSX again looking good from the get-go. Oh, got the 34th too. Of course. Of course.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, you know what's better than one operator? 2 operators, and that seems to be the principle that Angela is operating with, if I can say so. Michui already being spotted out will be able to get away with her life, even though the spray looks incredibly scary for a second. And with that, it seems like yet again Madness. They don't know where exactly they want to go. They even stopped with the operator, and look at Angela's position. She has no fear. She's pushing forward, getting the second already as Michui goes down. Still has a tour de force as well. And she's just going to be pinning down this angle. 3rd kill for the round. Angela on the hunt for the ace. Repeaking yet again. It's going to be Ziju this time who is likely to walk into that crosshair. The question is, can she flick at the right time here? 4 kills. Almost the ace. 30 HP. Can she convert it? It's all down to just the stage player. Will be able to take that Angela. That's going to be the ace tonight. Gets 2, in fact. And if she can get this orb and get the spike down, that might be the resurrection available. A possible 2v3 or a 2v2 situation is still online, but with only 12 seconds on the clock, nothing. That's not going to be much happening. I feel bad for Angela. No ace for her, but that 4K was incredible. And that's an 8-4 half right now. BASISSIX are looking very dominant.
She was all over the map in that last round, and again, BASISSIX. This has been a recurring theme here for BASISSIX. This whole series, they give mass or sort of a priority into securing that last round in the first half, and then they pivot that further into a bigger lead in the second half. And I love it from BASISSIX. Again, they secured the last round of the first half, and they're looking so good doing it. This time, though, 8-4 is a score compared to 4-8, so jobs a little bit easier to secure out.
Yeah, definitely. Last time around, we saw the same kind of half coming in, but for Madness, and they couldn't. Madness, they weren't able to convert it despite having got that kind of a lead. So on Icebox, they're gonna have to really buck up and do a phenomenal job heading into this defensive half, because it seems like they're just not that comfortable on defense here, and it's gonna make their job so much harder on a map like Icebox, where all it takes is one pick before the map is blown open like a present, I suppose, at least for the side of BASISSIX. So I'm definitely gonna be watching out for KitKat here. When you talk about players who were strong for BASISSIX in that first half, Angela comes to mind. Sentry as well, the hero with the Bucky. Whatever weapon she had, but mainly the Bucky. The Bucky is what stands out to me, honestly. You saw them get quite a bit of screen time, but heading into this attacking half, I think KitKat is going to be the player that we're really going to have to watch out for.
Yeah, and one of the things that I pointed out earlier was that BASISSIX not necessarily doing anything crazy to secure these rounds. And I feel like that's because, well, individually, the performance of the players of BASISSIX are just next level during this game. You talk about Sentry and Angela, and of course KitKat, but the entire team has got spotlight moments left, right, and center. And it feels like at any given moment, anyone from BASISSIX is again going to claim that spotlight. And it seems like that is the tune for this game, right? Madness, they're getting outgunned in the individual basis, which is why they aren't necessarily finding a lot of success on the attacking side. Now, the the silver lining for them is now that they're on the defending side, they don't necessarily have to contest these angles, which means that they can become the more unpredictable factor here, which might be the key here for them to topple the momentum that is basics right now, Zach.
Yeah, BASISSIX, they have the momentum in their pocket. They have the map in their pocket as well at this rate, because Icebox is a map where, like we mentioned a few times before, they're really, really confident on, and for good reason, because they have another new team. They have like a very, very, very 100% win rate. And the thing is, their attacking percentage, round percentage win, is even better than their defense. And I know that's hard to believe looking at how they've played on the defense so far, but they're even stronger on attack, at least so far from what we've seen of them. So, not exactly a team that you want to write off here. Madness, they have quite a job on their hands, and the first thing that they really have to do is convert that pistol round, because that's how BASISSIX managed to get the momentum in last time. They won the pistol, they got it to 8-6, and after that, they just were able to take it forward going in. So Madness are gonna have to do something similar, because if they let BASISSIX win this pistol round, where they're looking at a 10-4 scoreline, and yeah, coming back from that, it's not gonna be very easy. It's already hard enough from 8-4. 10-4 is just like, nope, not happening.
Yeah, if you remember though from the last game, Madness had an amazing start to that map because they were on the attacking side. This time they are the ones going towards that defense, right? So I wonder how aggressive they are going to be here. I mean, we saw just inklings of that in Bind, right? They had a lot of priority to one particular part of the map, which this time I would not mind seeing, honestly, as long as they find that success again. I mean, honestly, at this point, whatever they do, as long as they win the duels, as long as perhaps they get the read right off again, like they did in the last game, they still have a chance, absolutely, in this game. And I believe we are just at a technical pause, if I'm not mistaken. So again, sir, you're gonna have to hang out here with our faces, Zach and Datum here. Let's talk a little bit more about your night, Zach, because how are you? I haven't asked. You asked how I was at the start of the series, and I forgot to ask
It's
how
it's
you
it's
were.
it's always like
I'm
that. The
sorry.
people who you work with the most never care
I'm
enough. No, I'm
so
kidding.
sorry, Zach.
Matt's a great guy, and I'm doing quite good. You know what makes me even happier?
Mm.
That we are gonna be heading back to the game. They
Ah,
managed to fix their technical issues, so you guys don't have to be bored with our faces any longer, because we're heading right back into the game. But yeah, don't worry, Matt. You're good.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I am.
it's I'm doing good. I think I'm doing better than you. You're the one with a little bit. You know, you gotta give Matt kudos here, because even though he's a little bit sick, his throat is a bit out of
Uh,
order. He's still doing his really good job on the
Thank
casting
you,
disc.
Zach.
So kudos to you. Yes.
Playing
So show
too.
him some love. Yeah, show us both some love on Twitter. We'll link it later. But anyways, apart from marketing ourselves, we're gonna be heading back into the game here,
Mm.
and it's going to be BASISSIX on the attack this time around. Already going forward towards this A site. Two players making a lot of noise, and oh, T gets spotted here. Chamber versus Chamber. Both of them not really able to connect their shots, but too many players are swamping T right now, and she's gonna be forced to fall back here.
Oh.
They know her position yet again, and this is very awkward here. At least the damage has been done, but the spike will go down, and Felcha will be able to get it down. We're looking at a full 5-on-5 retake here right now, and this is less than ideal for Matt, because the postman positions are really good right now. Kit Kat as well towards mid, wrecking absolute havoc here. Stays alive as well. So Angela getting the second. Can she get more?
Oh
She
my
does.
gosh.
12 HP, 3 kills. Can she get the last one? The reload comes through, but both the Jets are in a really awkward spot here as they go in for the reload here. Senderi as well. The backup is ready. At least Michui manages to find one, denying the flawless. And it's going to be 2 right now, but that's going to be all that Michui can find so far, unless she pulls off some miracles, which is not going to happen. Felcha will shut her down. And wow, I got Kit Kat. This is what I talked about. Kit Kat on that attack is what you have to watch
Yeah.
out for. 12 HP, 2 kills. How does she do that?
Yeah, exactly. And look at that last swing again against Zeju, sorry. And again, I go back to my point of the spotlight plays here. The individual prowess of BASISSIX just seems like on another level after that first game. Of course, Kit Kat showcasing just that from the pistol round. I mean, you talked about how the pistol is of mass importance here for Madness to try and replicate that success that BASISSIX has found earlier. And no, again, it gets denied. and they don't go for the force either. So another round they're willing to give away. Thankfully, Michui gets the first frag, but KitKat here is on a hero buy. She is feeling it. She's absolutely confident with this Vandal.
Yeah, I mean, this could go either way if you're not careful already. The Vandal finding value, KitKat getting two somehow, finding Michui as well off the back of that. That is huge coming in. Does take a little bit of damage, but still manages to stay alive. And off the back of that, they're going to be booking it towards this B side here. It's just going to be Angela who, I'm sorry, it's going to be nobody actually. Angela is going to be scouting out. She's cleared yellow. She's going to be breaking the trademark, and she has a sight as well. So that's going to be the spike going down onto this B side here. The fake and, of course, the 2 kills coming through for KitKat on that A side is huge because that just summoned all the rotations away. The B side was just up for grabs and they take full advantage of it. Angela as well with the Sheriff finding 2 already. Angel finally shutting her down, but I don't think it's going to matter for much as Miguel manages to get it done. It was a bit awkward, but she manages to get it done. We're not going to say anything about it.
Yeah, I didn't see anything, Miguel. 10-4. Miguel helped in securing the round there for BASISSIX.
Yes, she cleaned it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wasn't very clean, but she cleaned it up.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's why they cleaned it up, because it wasn't very clean, right? So, anyway, 10-4 here. BASISSIX again on a massive hold here as they go on to the double digits. Massive advantage at that, but Angela and KitKat both have, and Sendry for that matter, all of them have those assault rifles as they try and become aggressive here for Mads, but KitKat spotting that one out before it even commences. And she's looking for more. Activates the Tailwind. Recon Bolt gonna help out, or rather the Aldron gonna help out as to find out the positioning of these 2 members defending the line here in a site. Gonna force out the wall, but immediately getting destroyed here. So BSX, they really want to press forward and slice through the defense here. Zeju in a bit of a tough spot as Sentry makes her way into Tube. And there you go, Zeju Michui falling down means...
Oh no, this is so bad.
Last player standing.
Oh, the lineup? No, it's not going to be happening. It is just BASISSIX who managed to absolutely shut them down here. And that's going to be round number 11 right now for BASISSIX. They win the bonus. That was the bonus as well. They had 1 Vandal, which KitKat had from the previous round. Everybody else had like Spectres and stuff. So yeah, that's a round which they really had no business winning at all. But they still managed to win it. Especially, I feel really bad for Zeju. She sees Senderi jumping over her like a frog. But on the left, she forgets to clear the left. And well, I think Miguel takes full advantage of that and is just able to take her down. Really well coordinated push coming in from the side of BASISSIX, and with that we're looking at a possible match point because it's an equal right now for the side of these players from Madness already. KitKat yet again finding that first pick here. 2 players down for BASISSIX and the B side is almost open. It's just T left right now, nothing but a Marshall to her name, and yep, that is going to be Angela on the other side of the map farming kills as well. Can she get the 3rd? Nope. Finally, she's going to be shut down, but it might be a bit too late. It's just T in this 1v4. Finding nothing at all, and that's match point and series point right now for the side of BASISSIX, just 1 away from 2-0ing Madness.
Yeah. And again, Madness, you see signs of them being a little bit more frustrated and cracking under the pressure, because in round number 15, where you typically have the gun advantage anyway, you don't necessarily have to go for those aggressive plays. All you have to do is play the proper duels, and you should have the round bag. But since they pushed up into Tube, KitKat ready to capitalize and punish them, they get immediately shut down, and again they get free access to site with basically a huge firepower deficit. At least this time they shut down Angela, but there's another hurdle coming their way, and that's Sendry way up close and personal. They have no clue that Sendry is in garage. She's about to step out of that area. 2 members against her. She hears everything going on around her. The trigger discipline. It's gonna be there, but she doesn't find anything yet. There you have it. T falls down. The Viper split immediately after that, but 4v4 still, and Sendry's job is done in B main.
Yeah, she's managed to at least like distract enough, but look at Miguel's position, pushing up so aggressively here. Spots out the foot of Ziju, but it's not going to be enough as it's a very awkward position on the zip line that gets taken down. Sundari, in the meantime, after all the havoc she managed to wreak towards the A side, it's going to be B this time. Sorry, mid this time that she's going to be really going for. With the chamber down, the tube is entirely vulnerable
Wow.
here, but in the
Spike
meantime,
down
Ziju's the
A.
second on the round. The spike dropped as well. Sundari finally shutting her down, but there's still one player left. It's all down to just the Sova here, who has so much
30
work to do,
seconds
being
left.
pushed on from all the sides here. Michubi as well there for the backup. Will spot out Senderi, but nevertheless
Senderi.
will find the better
Senderi!
4K. 4K for Senderi, and it's gonna be just one player, Angel, who is all the way on that B side. And guess what? Off the back of that 4K, there's
Viper
also
spit.
the Viper spit
Yeah.
available for Senderi. So this looks like it's over to me, Matt. I think unless they get a little bit greedy, it seems like BASISSIX are gonna be winning this. Oh no.
See, this happened before, though. 1v2 with a Viper. But, of course, it was Sender that did that! And all it takes is one bullet.
Attackers
Angela
win.
takes care of Angel. That's BSX advancing on in the upper bracket. They will take the cake against Madness Zen Esports. And they did it so well. 13-4 on the second game. And, wow, what a series that was, Zach. Amazing
Oh, my
performance
lord.
from all the members here of BASISSIX. Just outclassing Madness Zen, essentially.
Yeah, and the last map, Sundari, she was great when it came to the Astra utility. She was phenomenal, but this time around, she was just insane on
Yeah.
that Viper. Just firepower. I was like, forget utility, forget lineups, forget everything. Just the lurks, the way, the positions that she managed to find herself in. She had the perfect read on Madness most of the time. And this last round especially, that was all her. Like the fact that she was able to get a 4K and create so much pandemonium down
Mm.
in the ranks of the Madness Zen players. That was just phenomenal coming in from her. And yeah, with I think off the back of that, it is going to be a 2-0, very, very dominant victory coming in for the side of BASISSIX. Let's take a look at how they did on Icebox here for this particular map. The scoreboard. Looking at it, it is going to be Senderi,
Oh,
who
yeah.
is indeed the MVP, 332 ACS on that Viper, followed closely by KitKat,
Cat,
who yeah, like I mentioned, first half maybe she was just playing for the traits, but man, once you put her on attack, I think she got like more first bloods than almost anybody else. Like I'd love to see that chart.
I mean, we also laid out the foundation between these two teams at the start of the series, right? BASISSIX, they are a new team formed specifically for APAC LCQ, and they got 3 veterans in their ranks, namely Angela, Sendri, and KitKat. Well, take a look at the scoreboard. Which 3 members of BSX have got the highest ACS? And part of it was also because you mentioned Madness. They're a team that have consistently fallen short of Elite because of, well, Arresta. And maybe it's because KitKat knows exactly the way that Madness works, and essentially, well, they just shut them down. Madness falling short, unfortunately, here. I mean, we also said how Madness is not necessarily their strongest map, Icebox, and BSX. They showed us why they love this map. They showed us why they are a force to be reckoned with. Definitely a team to watch out for from here on out, and I can't wait to see them again in the next stages.
Yeah, I think they'll be feeling very happy with themselves because they did manage to get a very convincing victory in this quarterfinal so far, and they are going to be moving on. But it's not over for Madness yet, so
It's true.
they do have a shot in the lower bracket. But look at this: BASISSIX on Icebox, they win on every single front possible. They win on the damage, they win on the frag wins, they win on the objective wins. In fact, Madness got 0 objective wins on this particular map, and that is really, really rough for them right now. I think Icebox, the moment it went to Icebox, it was a losing proposition because this is arguably BASISSIX's strongest map. Like Fracture and Icebox are the maps that they're so strong on, and you just really don't want to go up against them in a position where you're already one map down. And of course, like you mentioned, the pressure was one thing as well. Madness were just not able to handle it. You saw them getting a little bit more sloppy
Yeah.
every single time they lost a round, and they just could not pull it back together in time. Unfortunate for them.
Yeah, that is the first series of the day, though. We still have one coming up between ARF Starlight and X10 Sapphire. But until then, we'll just be having a quick break. Datum here casting with Zach. We'll be right back with Game Changers APAC LCQ in just a bit.